Hi, everybody. Welcome to Saturday's live stream. Hello. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Saturday. It's about to be the end of the year. What am I saying? End of the year? End of the month. We're full in Leo season right now. I think we have two more. Yeah, two more Saturdays, y'all. And then Leo season is over. August is over, and we're entering into the Virgos. Lord. We all know what's going to happen in that season. I hope everybody had a great week. I'll just wait for a few people to pop in so we can chat. Hold on. Let me see who's coming in. Lord, look at this pimple right here. Yeah, that's how you know my cycle's coming. That's how you know when the cycle's coming, when you got that little zit right there. That pimple. It just never goes away. Miami, hey sis, welcome. Mocha Island, welcome sis. Happy Saturday. Don't mind me eating this banana, y'all. Whew. I'm in a rush. I'm on a time crunch right now because I can only stream for, hold on, what time is it right now? My time is 1, 2, 3. I have 3:30. So I have 2.5 hours, y'all. And then I got to go. Bomi has a vet appointment, so I can't miss it. I'm still looking for a remote job. Oh no, sis. Wait. What kind of I remember you said that I think you're in Nevada, right? Well, what's your field? What is your field? What's your field? I'm pretty sure I asked you last week, but maybe it got drowned out in the comments. But actually, since nobody's here yet, it's good to, I'd like to know that. Need help. Okay. You know what? Message me on Discord. You're on Discord, right? If you're on Discord, if you're not on Discord, I could send you the link. But message me on Discord. And yeah, help as far as, let me see. You know what? Let's do that right now. Since we got a little bit of time. We're still 2 minutes in. Okay, I'm going to do something right quick. 1 second. Well, it really depends on your field too, right? But I'm curious to see the job market in Nevada right now. Media production. Yeah, you're in Nevada. Okay, perfect. That's what I thought, because I was like, I think she's in Nevada. Hold on a second. Let me take this screen off. This was the right screen, but I'm on the wrong screen here. Okay, I'm going to do something real quick. Hold on. Let me fix my stuff first. You're on Discord? All right, cool. Holla at me on Discord. I will respond to your private message. You don't put it in a group chat, because I'll probably, yeah. If you put it in a group chat, I ain't gonna get to it that fast. But if you send me a private message, I'll get to it. I'm pretty good with my private messages, my DMs. Let me see here. Okay, I'll keep the browser up here. Let me just take a quick look here. And sis, don't feel bad, because you ain't the only one. I know so many people who are looking for jobs now too. Okay, so what websites do you guys go on in the US? Let's just put jobs. Media. You said media production, right? Hold up. Is that what you put? Media production. Okay, I'm gonna check it right now. Scorpionic tendencies. Welcome, sis. We got a Scorpio here. Oh Lord. Y'all been, welcome to the chat. Let me tell y'all been Scorpio's been on a good run for the past few weeks. Don't mess it up now. Y'all better not mess it up. I'm not talking about you specifically though. Hopefully there's no Scorpio stories today. Miami, what sites do you recommend? That's the thing. I don't know, because in Canada we use different sites, right? But all I know, sorry y'all, I'm eating at the same time, I know, but I gotta fuel my body. Personally speaking, me, like, okay, I'm gonna show y'all how I do my job searches, and maybe that'll help you out. I could spend like a good 10 minutes doing that. Jada said, hi sis, welcome. You said I'm Scorpio, moon, cap, sun, which maybe yes, red flag. Capricorn. I done told you about these Capricorns, yo. Oh Lord. But to be fair, if you're a woman, or if you are like, if you identify as a woman or close to a woman, then it might not be the same. I noticed that with Capricorn men, specifically men, whew, it's just it's a whole lot of R. Kelly, because I'm doing the Beyonce case study. R. Kelly, Capricorn. Need I say more? Matthew Knowles, Capricorn. Need I say more? That's all you need to know. That's it. That's all. Okay, so let me get back. Let me stop. Let me get focused. So media production jobs, Las Vegas. Okay, so usually this is what I do. Like, when I search for jobs, when I used to search for jobs, I always use Google, y'all, which is crazy. I really rarely use sources outside of Google, and if I do, it's a literary source. So like mostly like literature and stuff you could find in book format, but most often when I'm looking for jobs, I look at Google first, right? So you got to approach looking for jobs kind of like it's a job in itself, right? So I don't use Indeed. I used to use Indeed, but Indeed has like a lot of job sites are scamming now. Like there's a lot of mad scammers. So what I usually do is if I find a job posted on a website or online, I go to the company's website itself. So let's see what's going on here. A video producer. Okay, we have this one here. I don't think that's what you're looking for. Multimedia campaign producer. Okay, this one looks okay. Let's see the description. Let's get into it. Hold up. What kind of job this is? Hold on. What? Why is it not going? Give me a second, y'all. Okay, this is the description. That's it. Hold on. Let's go to the job site. 65 to 90 full time. Vegas PBS is seeking. Okay, this is PBS. All right. Is that the public broadcasting system? To develop, write, produce, and edit promotional content that supports programming, membership initiatives, community engagement, and events. Is that your experiences? You gotta let me know. This better not link me. Oh Lord, what is this? You see? Oh, okay. They're only okay. Yeah, you see, I'm getting the. Oh, I thought this was a virus. I was about to say red flag. What the hell am I on? So it looks like only American people can see this, which is fine. But at least you get hits, right? Hold on, let me see what else they got going on. Post-production lead, dry finishing and deliverables, social media content produce. Yeah, I would stay away from these type of jobs because I feel like they're not gonna pay you that much. I could tell by how they put stuff. Social media producer. No, stay away from social media. You gotta do like streaming. I need to know what type of media production. Actually, let me check the comments. What type of media production? If you're doing like regular television broadcasting, I would get into maybe streaming like Netflix, but I know it's hard to find jobs in those areas. Or maybe something that has to do with media, but like for companies. So like for insurance companies, they use a lot of PR and publication companies, or other types of media production. I think outside the box, even government uses media for a lot of their we have in every government there's internal like media people who issue like those public press releases. They have a media like branch or division within government, so you got to think about it in that way. But again, I need to know more details. So yeah, DM me, let me know. I mean, I'm not a miracle worker, but I could probably just help to kind of maybe let you see things in a different perspective, or where you could probably try to look. But yeah, but Vegas is hard, y'all. You see, there's not that many jobs. Whereas, yeah, your city might not be the best for this type of job, because let's put media jobs in the USA. Let's just put that. California, Tennessee, Detroit. You see, this is remote right here. Remote e-learning multimedia producer. This is in California, Missouri. Here you go. There go a remote job right here. San Jose State University. Okay. So this is, yeah, you'd probably have to look for remote jobs outside of your area, because that seems like, why are they all on Media Bistro? Where is this? San Jose State University. Okay, you know what? Let's check the university here. Let's see if this job actually exists. If these people are scamming. All right, let me get to the career section. All the way at the always at the bottom. Always at the I don't even go through none of that stuff. I'm like, okay, where the careers at? Right here. Boom. All right. Here. So let's see if this job exists for real, if they just faking. They're farming. Okay, how can we help? Jobs. Post opportunities. No, I want to see what opportunities y'all got because they said it's over there. Okay, here. No. What? This website is weird. Hold on. Post opportunities. No. Am I looking at the wrong thing? Hold up. Oh, I was looking at employers. My bad. That's why I got lost in the sauce. You see, I would give up just for this. This is way too much rigmarole here. I don't have time to look through your website. Red flag. What is going on here? Why is it hard for me to see the job listings? You see, there's way too much. I wouldn't work for them. There's way too much going on here. This is not straightforward. Oh, there's the career center. Oops. But wait, where the jobs at? Where are the jobs for non-faculty? Where them jobs at? You see, no, this is a no-go, sis. I wouldn't even look for this one. There's way too much going on. Okay, I should put remote because you did say remote. Okay, 5 more minutes and then I'm gonna and then I'll do this another time. It's actually really fun. Okay, business development associate. This is in New Jersey. Is it remote? Is this media? What this sound like? Now this a lot. No. This no. Way too no. Look at all this red flag. No. Way too much. No. You can't do that. That's not gonna be good. Oh, here, remote video and multimedia producer and editor. Okay, this one's good. But are you? I don't think that's yours. You said, hold on, let me check the comments. You see, I'm talking and yapping and doing all this. Maybe you could tell me. Shay Jones, you said hi, Romy. Red flag. That's what's up. Hey sis, welcome. Rosa, hey sis, welcome. You said, oh, more logistics, brainstorming, and finance than being creative, and the job searching is weird. Okay, so you're doing. Hold on. You said media production and logistics, brainstorming, and finances. Okay, perfect. That actually narrows it down a lot more. So this is not right. It's just you gotta get the keywords. That's the problem. Let's put remote, logistics, and finance. Maybe we could hit it. Let's just put, there we go. Keywords, no. Let's just put media. Let's take out production. No. USA. Oh, okay. Let's take out remote and let me see if it's gonna hit. Yeah, is the type. So oh, this is hard. Hold up. You have a specific, okay. DM me in the Discord. Let me know what your previous, if you don't mind sharing here, I don't mind like looking, but let me know what your previous role was. If you at least have a title of the role, then it'll be easier to look for what you're looking for. Because the thing is, if you're doing media logistics, so logistics finance for media companies, maybe, I think that's what you're talking about. Jobs in media. USA. We'll just put USA. Okay, there we go. But then you see it's giving me it's giving me Amazon. Yeah, it looks like it's more like those traditional companies and not media. This is why. It's the keyword search. That's why it's gonna be hard for you to look for stuff. But yeah, holla at me. Message me, DM me in the Discord, and then we'll look into something. Because actually, FYI, guys, you probably didn't know, but your girl has had many jobs. And sometimes, like, I help, like, people look for stuff, like, friends and family. I don't really do it. I just do it in my spare time. Like, my sister, like, she's looking for something, so we just kind of, like, comb through and I kind of help her kind of pinpoint like where she should go, what she should look into and stuff. Again, I'm not a guru, but I can help you if you just give me the job title you used to have, and then holla at me on the Discord, and I'll see if I can find some links for you. But it's not gonna be easy, sis. Finding a remote job is gonna be very tough. You're gonna have to take your time to do that. It's not gonna be easy. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but it's not impossible either, right? So you just have to continuously look, and and just keep branching out of your area. Vegas might not be the best area for that, and you may potentially have to move, maybe, but we're not there yet. So yeah, let's just see what your options are for now. Your field is a bit niched, so it's gonna take some time for sure. Let's see who else is here. Mary, hey sis, you said hey everyone. Romy, did you hear about the controversy involving the black British professor accused of plagiarism? He passed away. Yes, I did. That's gonna be tomorrow. I was contemplating covering it today, but because we don't have much time, I have to be out of here by 3:30, which is in 2 hours and a half. I did not want to rush through the story because it's so important, and if I'm gonna cover that story, I really want to do it justice, and I don't know too much about what happened, so I'm gonna take my time with that one. So tomorrow I will cover Jason Arde. I think that's his name. Rest in peace to that brother. And I'm gonna cover all the other, like, there's other topics y'all sent me in the Discord. I will cover them tomorrow. Tomorrow's live stream is gonna be long, but not too long, because I'm gonna try to cut it like at a certain point. But yeah, I'll cover it tomorrow, just to say that. So yes, I did hear about him, and it's very sad. But I'm not surprised. I mean, it's a home of the racism, home of colonization, home of slavery. Oh, that's where it all came from. So, you know, and academia is hella racist. So there's that. Very elitist, very racist, and and they don't want to see people win. That's it. And even if he was, doing certain things, he's not the only one. And the fact that, they kind of like had him as a poster child, it just screams, it speaks volumes. Not only that, but the way of the world right now is popular to be racist. So there's that too, right? There's a high level of insensitivity towards people's mental health. And I think that, he seemed like he was a bit over the edge. So yeah. But yeah, let's cover it tomorrow. I will talk about it more tomorrow. Allie, how are you, sis? Mocha, you said I can send you my resume on Discord. Yeah, my past experience is not linear at all. Exactly. I could already tell, sis. I could already tell. Yeah, send me your resume. DM me. Yeah, I honestly, like, let me tell y'all something. Like, I have had the same experience as you, where when you have so many diverse skills, it's hard for people to place you in a box. And it can work to your advantage because you are able to adapt to other industries, and you're able to align with it. It wouldn't matter where they place you. Like, you'll be able to I forgot what they call it, but your skills are easily adaptable and transferable. That's what I was looking for. You have transferable skills. But the problem with that is that it's hard because you're not like in a specialized area. And so that's the tricky part, is finding a place for you to kind of nest yourself in and your skills. For me, it only worked out because when I went back to school, then I had more of that policy framework. But technically, I was always doing policy. I was always doing customer, like when you start, because I started off in customer service, right? So that's an example. When I started working, like when I started my full-time career, it was in customer service, but I was working in insurance companies. I worked in logistics. So that's why when you said logistics, I was like, oh, okay, I know. Worked in logistics. I also worked in medical insurance. But it was hard for me to get out of that customer service space because I didn't have, like, they didn't consider it like analyst experience, because I wanted to be a policy analyst or even a claims adjuster. So what ended up happening was I went back to school, and then I got more technical knowledge. And then when I came back in the workforce, or came back to Canada, then it was easier for me to get jobs in government. And it was only because, I was able to add the analytical framework as well as the customer service, and then marry them together. But you don't have to go back to school. You might need to take a cert, but I mean, it depends on what kind of experience you have. So I need to see your resume. So yeah, send it to me. And you could block off your personal identifiers. You could redact it. I don't need to see all that. Actually, matter of fact, just take all your personal information off. I just need to see the jobs. That's it. Yeah. Devonda, hey sis, welcome. You sent the Jason. Yes, you did. I saw that, sis, and thank you for sending it. I'm gonna talk about it tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day we're gonna talk about Jason, and he's gonna be the first story that I cover tomorrow. Because I need time to look into it, and I also want to I want to watch multiple things about it. I don't want to rush through it, and with the time crunch we have I have, because I got to get out of here at 3:30. Then I want to make sure that we tell the brother's story properly. All right, y'all, let's get started. So, time crunch. Speaking of time crunch, how long I've been talking? I've been talking for 20 minutes. Perfect. Okay, now I gotta be mindful of time. Because I want to get through everything today. So 20 verses 1, we left off with and L sent me part 2. You said that there's a part 2. I don't know if L's in the chat. By the way, it was L's birthday on the 10th, I think. So happy birthday to L. And there was a few other Leo birthdays. Hold up. And I'm gonna shout out other people on their birthdays. My bad. I probably should have been doing that. We have Imani. So all my Leos, Imani, L, who else? And baby girl, 6102. Happy birthday to y'all. I know it's gonna be a festive time for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed your special day. And there's so much to celebrate. Turning an extra year or older year. I feel like it's kind of like a rite of passage. So every year that you turn, I feel like you turn over a new leaf, and it's gonna be a great year for you guys. So I'm really happy for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed your special birthdays, and many blessings and financial blessings, prosperity, and just all the good things. I hope everything great goes to you guys, and whoever else celebrated a birthday this month and last month and the month before and the month before, any birthdays from January to August. And then continuing on forward. So yeah, now let's get into this creator. Here we go. TikTok.
This is the
okay. Ooh, let me put that.
Think it's not rooted in
Okay, we went over that topic. There's so many other topics going on right now, but we'll address it when we address it. Oh Lord, TikTok been in shambles this whole week. We'll address some topics when we get there. So, what's her name again? Jasmine. Hold on, Jasmine. What's her last name? Not Jasmine Crockett. Hold up. Let me put Jasmine Ager, and then maybe it'll come. I know that's not her name. I feel bad because I feel bad. What's her name now? Jasmine. Oh, here we go. I'm sure I can find her name. Okay. Jasmine calling Christians
of what being naked meant. Perfect. So now perversion has moved into the picture. Perversion is moved into the picture.
Okay, her name is just Jasmine, but why can't I find her videos? Hold up. Jasmine, I follow her. Maybe I need to log in. That's probably what I need to do. Can somebody remind me what's her name? Her last name on there. I'm gonna have to look it up on my TikTok, y'all, because I do follow her. So give me a second, y'all. Let me go and look it up. Just give me one moment. I really hate when I can't find who I need to find. It's okay, Jasmine's Garden. Okay, that's her name. Jasmine Garden. Okay. It took me forever. Okay. Garden. There we go. All right, that's this right here. All right, I want to preface this by saying you can believe what you want to believe in. Nobody is telling anyone not to believe in Christianity, Islam, Mormonism. I respect everybody in their beliefs. Fundamentally speaking, I don't know basically, I don't know how you came to believe what you believe, but I respect it. And we can have differences of opinions without putting people down or without, belittling them. And I'm not saying it for you guys in the chat because you guys are super respectful, but I'm saying it just in case, this outsiders come in and just try to cause chaos, right? So I just wanted to preface it by saying that. Also, this creator, she is very popular within the community as well. She does a lot of really great I really love her takes. And I think we can all learn something from her. So I might say things that might be offensive to some folks, but it is what it is. It's just my experience, my opinion. And again, opinions are like booty holes. Everybody has one. And another thing I must say is last week, I was hungry. I ain't gonna lie. So my patience was very, very thin. So I apologize if I seemed like I was upset. I really wasn't. I was just hungry. So that's why I had the banana today, because I'm like, okay, I gotta get my blood sugar in order, because I don't want to come off like, I'm dismissing people's beliefs and experiences, because I rewatched the stream and I was like, yeah, I probably should have said that a little bit better. So I do apologize if I came off that way. But when a sister's hungry, she's hungry. My patience was running thin, my meds were running low, but today I made sure I'm good. So now let's get to her recent video. I guess she clarified something, and then we're gonna get to the 20 verses 1. And by the way, we might watch a sneak peek of the Hebrew Israelites versus the Christians. Lord, I think that Dr. Daff she's on the money. She found her money gravy train. So now she's doing all of these religious 20 verses 1 whatever going on. And I know she's been doing it, but these topics have been very interesting, to say the least. So there's that. All right, let's get into it now.
So when I left the church and I started deconstructing from Christianity almost 8 years ago, I was pondering a lot of things, but 2 in specific were, who was the first sinner and was their punishment there? Because reading Genesis, it feels like Adam and Eve were cursed for their curiosity along with every generation thereafter. And the second one was, what is the cost of free will? Because with all the rules, the regulations, and the stipulations, it's seeming like something that was supposed to be free is expensive in the end. And we're going to get into that conversation tonight at 7 p.m. with 2 of the women that were on the 1 versus 20 with me, Chinasa and Kalia. Now, this is going to be a healthy conversation where we will probably disagree, but our intent is not to debate. And if you missed the conversation, you can catch the replay on our YouTube channels. See y'all tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, maybe that's not the one, because Elle, you said that there was, okay, maybe it's this one.
There's a lot of discourse surrounding my 1 versus 20, but I'm noticing amongst the Christians, a lot of you felt like you were poorly represented by the 20 Christian women that were chosen to debate against me. Now, I do want to say, for the vast majority of Christians that we encounter as non-believers, they are exactly the same. From their mindset as it pertains to their ideologies, their demeanor, their inability to remain.
She's not lying. And hello, like I said, I grew up in the church for literally the fundamental formative years of my life, from the age of a baby, not even born, literally in my mama's womb, until I was I think I stopped 19, took a little break. Then I went back heavy into it when I was in my 20s, 23, from 20, I would say 23, 24, up until I left Korea. Yeah, Korea. Korea was the last time I really attended church, and that was 30, I think I stopped attending 33, 32. So, yeah. And I will say that not everybody has that mindset, but I would say a large majority. It's a minority that do not have that mindset and that treat everyone equally. So I gotta say that I agree with her on that.
Open in conversation for the sake of understanding, not to agree, but to see where I am coming from, to see how I arrived at this conclusion or where I am at in my own personal journey, instead of trying to correct, challenge, or change me. When they told us we would be having a conversation, I figured they would ask me, have you experienced more peace since you left the church? What is your relationship like now with whatever you consider to be God? What I find intriguing is that so many people on both sides, between the Christians and the non-believers, want to see me have this conversation again, but with theologians, scholars, and pastors. The Christians believe that the conversation would go differently because the points that I made would not hold up the same, and that I would be challenged more. And the non-believers believe it would just be more engaging conversation. And to that I say, I'm willing to put it to the test. So tag your best hit in the comment section, your best theologians, your best pastors, your best scholars, and I'm going to assemble my team of deconstructionists. We are going to engage in a healthy conversation. Every now and then there might be a point or a question made that challenges the other sides. Now, I was going to be on another episode of the Dr. Daff Show this coming Friday. It was going to be a 2 versus 2 featuring 2 of the women that were on the 2 versus 20 with me previously, and a guest of my choosing. But unfortunately, the Dr. Daff Show doesn't have it in their budget to fly your girl out. So instead, I'm going to do what I always have to do and do it like
Hold up. Red flag. No, Dr. Daff, now you know. No, sis. I'm at the, I like your work. Appreciate it. I was watching you since you were Ghana Goddess. That's how long I've been on YouTube. She rebranded to Dr. Daff, y'all. Ask me if I'm lying. Hold up. Let me see if I can still find her old videos. She used to be Ghana Goddess, y'all. I used to watch her natural hair tutorials. Ghana Goddess. Hold on. I see more people have entered the chat. Let me go say hi to y'all. Hold on. Ghana Goddess channel. Her name was Ghana Goddess, y'all. Hold up. natural hair. Yep. And then she rebranded to, yeah, is that her? Was it Ghana Goddess? I know I'm not tripping. Hold up. Ghana. Ooh, I spelled it wrong. That's why. Goddess Natural Hair Channel. Let me see if I can find it. Yep, there we go. Y'all, you see, I'm not lying. I knew her from before. Yep, right here. So Kinky Styles, that was another YouTuber I used to follow.
Number one.
There we go. Ghana Goddess. That was her right here. That's Dr. Daff in the black and white. And Kinky Styles probably talking about it. Yeah, this was when YouTube was popping. And then, you know, of course, she got her doctorate. She was in school at the time, and so she would do natural hair videos and tutorials. And then she graduated from her program, and then she rebranded to Dr. Daff. So, yeah, there's that. All right, continuing.
So to the two women that I was going to be doing the episode with, I would love to extend my platform to you here on TikTok to finish up this conversation. And I'm not opposed to any of the other women that were there also joining in. Here specifically, I saw both of your follow-up videos as to, can you manifest your way out of hell? What's wrong with asking? And what's wrong with me calling her a minion or a witch? I really hope that you can make it, because I would love to address this question to figure out what it means to you. Once the internet picks their best 4 theologians, scholars, pastors, Christians, we will have them come out here to the studio in Atlanta to film the episode.
Now, this is a way to market yourself. I gotta give her tens on that. Let me see who's in here. Let me see who just arrived. Prince, how are you, brother? Welcome to the chat. Welcome. You said, hey, Prince, let's all grab a snack and listen. Hey, Mayame, hey, Devonda. One thing I'll never do is forget to eat, y'all. That was my mistake last week. I ain't gonna lie. I realized I'm very snippy when I'm hungry. I'm not a nice person. I gotta do better with that. I wasn't being very respectful. I was being way too over the line. I gotta be more respectful. You said Dr. Jaff better step her bread up. How you taping people to come in your show on their diet? Right? That's crazy. And her studio listen, I told y'all the budget went up. So she's just trying to, I guess she did it the first time and she's like, wait, follow up. Maybe it's on you. No, this is not that type of party. You got to pay people. This is craziness. Yep, I sure did pull up the receipts in case people were like, no, she didn't. You're wrong. Yeah, don't play with me. I always do that. I got to pull it up. Yeah, for people, because her imagine Ghana Goddess. Interesting, right? And, of course, maybe she wasn't I don't know her religious affiliation, but I believe she is Christian. So that's very interesting. All right, let me see a little bit of this video, and then we'll get back to the 20 verses 1.
Let's go back even further. What was the reason? Not just for the tree, but for Satan, because God is this all-knowing being, right? We were talking about love at the beginning, and I've been thinking about that since you said it. God is this all-knowing, all-powerful, everywhere being, right? Omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. So I'm thinking, with the ability to love at the magnitude greater than with the love that I would have never created that tree in the Garden of Eden, because I don't feel that there was a need. Because if the goal is for them to be in fellowship with me, then I'm just going to have them in fellowship with me. Because if you are going to smite and kill and burn in hell everybody that does not choose you for not having chose you, even the people that the word never made it to the 4 corners of the earth for them to have even known God, they're going to burn in hell. Then
not what the Bible teaches. No, it doesn't teach that. Acts 17 verses 26 and 27 says that God has created from one man every nation and given them their pre-appointed boundaries, times, and dwelling.
Wait, do I need to? Oh, I don't even have time for that. Okay.
With the hopes that they would grow for him, though he is not far from any one of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's if we're going to stick to scripture, we have to interpret it with scripture. And essentially, it's saying that God knew that somebody would be born in India. God knew somebody would be born 1,500 years ago.
Right.
But he's not far from any one of them. Obviously, God has appeared to people even in scripture through dreams, through visions. He's appeared through.
You know that the gods that they serve in India and other places, that is not how God appeared to them then.
If he would make himself known, if somebody comes in my likeness,
I think it's important, Jasmine, because you don't hold scripture to be authoritative and you want to infer it through, your philosophical perspective, that we stick to the prompt, which is freedom of will, and respectfully, I just don't like debating scripture with people who don't believe in my Bible. So
what does that mean? Wait a minute. Wait a whole minute. Hold on a second. Red flag. See? You see? My patience. No, maybe it's not the food. Maybe I'm just. First first of all, Sierra? No, that's not Sierra. Is that the other Jazz? I don't know who these two are. Okay. One, you cut off the other girl right here. That was very rude of you, Curly Sue. I like her natural hair, though, by the way. Her hair looks very beautiful. But, yes, you are supposed... What are you talking about? You don't want to debate scripture with someone who doesn't believe. First of all, isn't that the point, is to prove your point? So then, yes, you are going to have to be uncomfortable, and you are going to have to explain your point. This is a cop-out to me. So why can't you just explain yourself without having to... Like, it sounds to me like she just doesn't want to debate. And that's a problem. So two things I can get out of that is, one, you probably don't understand what you're reading. Or number two, you just think that, like, oh, I give up. But I said last week, I said it's kind of pointless. But at the same time, you chose to get on this show and you chose to prove yourself and prove your religion. So then, yes, that is going to come with being uncomfortable and having to answer questions. You should be able to do this. This is a problem. And I'm not liking that. Well, I'm not going to sit here waste time to... No, it's not just wait. You went on her show. What did you think it was going to be on her channel or her TikTok? Yeah, TikTok channel. What did you think this was going to be? You accepted. So now at this point, yes, everything is valid. She can read books from the Bible. You guys can quote scripture, and she can quote stuff from wherever she gets her resources. There's all bets are off at this point. You decided to go on her platform. So, I mean, continuing.
So we
again, I only have... Hold on. It's almost 1. Damn, time is going by fast. 2:33. I got 2 hours, y'all. 2 hours. Let's make this happen.
can put that on the table for now because we only have 10 minutes left. But I did want to say to the point of, why did God put the tree in the garden? God put the tree in the garden because the tree in the garden is an extension of Adam and Eve's autonomy. It is their ability to function as moral agents. It's the same reason he created Satan. He didn't create evil. He created autonomous angels who would choose who they would serve.
He didn't create evil. How did it happen then? How did it happen? How did that happen? You cannot say something like this about the Creator. So he didn't create evil, but he created Satan, who then became evil. Unless Satan created himself? Is that what we're going with? Because if God created Adam and Eve, and he created Satan and the angels, and Satan went rogue, then that means God created him with the ability to go rogue, which means that he knew that there's a possibility that Satan would be evil. But he took the chance because he wanted people, or whatever. We'll just, for the purposes of our conversation, we'll just say he, but it's a spirit. So he wanted for people to have the ability to choose which life that they would want to go. So that fundamentally means, to me, in my opinion, that he did create evil. You cannot pick and choose what part of, like, it doesn't work like that. What do you mean God didn't create evil? If that also wasn't the case, then there wouldn't be a tree of life and good and knowledge, and then the tree of whatever the other one. I don't remember. The tree of life, yeah, and then the tree of good knowledge or something like that. I don't remember the name of the exact tree. Hell, I don't got my Bible with me right now. But yeah, he had the two, and he said, you can go everywhere in the garden but the tree of knowledge. And then where did the serpent come from? How is that possible? See, this is why you just can't go on people's platform talking yik yak. Like, it doesn't logically make sense. Like, people don't think about what they're saying before they say it. And I don't think she realizes, like, me, even if I believe in the Bible or even if I believe in whatever, I'm still going to say, yeah, that's true, actually. That's true. You got me there. That's something I couldn't explain. Like, that's right. You're right. God did do that. But then that's something that God has to address. And unfortunately, I'm not God. But what I can say is that blah, 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 blah. You see, but then no, he didn't create evil. Yes, he did. He had to have. He created everything. So how would he not know this? Isn't he all-knowing, Lord?
The end goal, yes, is fellowship, but it's not inauthentic fellowship. It's not fellowship that has already been pre-constructed and preordained, and that
she put the Bible for Jasmine. I form the light and create darkness. Exactly. I make peace and create evil. Exactly. I, the Lord, do. Yeah, absolutely. He would have to, or else he wouldn't be God. He'd be cosplaying. This don't make no damn sense.
This one worldview. In order to have freedom, there needs to be two different worldviews for somebody to choose from. We've already demonstrated that Eve knew enough to even change the command that God gave to her or Adam. We've demonstrated that the garden is not a place where they were children, or that they were infants, or that where they did not have access to a God who knew everything. So therefore, they could have asked him if they were wondering what it meant to be like God or to be evil, what the difference between good and evil was. So there really is no excuse for their behavior, unfortunately. They chose that out of rebellion, like Shanasa has stated. And so because they chose that out of rebellion, there are consequences. Autonomy comes.
But then this is the problem I've always had is, was it rebellion, or was it just that they felt like they didn't have enough instruction? Or maybe, like, I could see it in a sense of like, and this is where the story gets muddy for me. It's like, you gave me the option. I chose, you said, don't do this. Okay. But then, the serpent, they talked a good game. The serpent came and like, look, you sitting here listening to this one right here, but maybe this is a better opportunity for you. And so they felt like it was a better option for them. That's it. That's all. But then he did say, if you eat from this, you will die. He did say that. So yes, it is technically rebellion. I will say that it is. However, God knew that there was an option and you have free will. Now, he did give them the consequences of choosing that option. Now, what I can say, though, is that we all have those certain points and facets in our life. Like, I don't like how they're talking about Adam and Eve as if they've never made a mistake. And this is the problem that I have, is that you are saying they were rebellious and they were this and this is why. And yes, that may be so, but so are you. There are things in your life that you don't want God to know about. There are things in your life you don't listen to your parents. Like if you're thinking about a parental relationship and your parents say, don't go there, don't do this, don't do that. How many kids have done that? How many times that you've rebelled against your parents, but that doesn't make them love you any less. And if they did, then your parents seriously need to go get checked. But most healthy parents, if they really love you, then they're going to work through it with you. They're not going to banish you and do the most extreme thing and, make you feel a certain way. And even in the Bible, even when God banished them, he still gave them something. So I want to make it very clear that yes, they did have a certain amount of rebellion, but we cannot act as if their rebellion was so much different than our rebellion. Because of a lot of people choose death when they choose certain directions in certain ways. And so this is why I literally, for me personally speaking, my opinion, I take the Bible as a literary book of metaphors, personally speaking. I do not take it as a literal he got swallowed up by a whale. No, I take it more as if you choose a certain way of life, then yes, there is a possibility that you will have the consequences that other people have had and they have gone through. And then if you choose another way of life, then yeah, maybe you will have a better chance of living in your truth. But then at the end of the day, we're all humans and we all have the same human experience. So I want to make it very clear. And this is the problem that I have when they have these conversations, is the self-righteousness. And I just don't get it. You are still a sinner in God's eyes if you believe in the Bible. And if you don't believe in the Bible, you're still a human who makes mistakes. You will make mistakes. You will make mistakes. Now, the gravity of the mistakes and the level of the mistakes, that's where the consequences come. But at the end of the day, you will make mistakes. There's no way in this world that you have never made a mistake. And I don't care if they're talking right now and saying all that yik yak. They have made mistakes and they're probably still making mistakes. And that's okay. That's a human experience. So I don't know. I don't like the approach, y'all. It's looking really weird.
With consequences. If you choose to do something, there's a reaction to that reality. Does God want to be in relationship with all of us? Absolutely. But is his highest value relationship with people who are forced to choose him? Or is his highest value relationship with those that would choose him in spite of a different worldview, in spite of a different God, in spite of the serpent in the garden, in spite of being like God, in spite of coming for his throne? Right. Will they choose me? Okay. Or will they choose themselves?
I think if the goal, and this is as a former Christian, if the goal is to be able to explain, because one of the things my father always taught me is if you can teach, you have to be able to teach to a 5-year-old to a 15-year-old, to a 30-year-old, a 50-year-old, and an 80-year-old. So when you have non-believers that may be able to be converted back into the body of Christ, not like, I just want you to be in Jesus's body, not like that, but like when you are truly displaying love and you want somebody to understand, sometimes discussion is going to feel like a debate. I don't use the Bible as authority, but this is the conversation. The belief stems from the Bible. So because I was told not to lean to my own understanding from the Bible, so I am trying to use the context clues that I was taught in school to be able to decipher and understand the Bible. I am struggling to understand God's position and wanting, because you said that the angels were autonomous, but the way in which I've read it and the way in which I've been taught it is that free will was our gift. So I've been trying to understand and even if we have this free will, you said freedom requires two options, but one of those options does not have to be an option that has a negative consequence.
It does, because then we're living in a simulation. God has essentially created a simulation where he has predetermined the outcome that everybody chooses then.
But then that's literally what it is though. Yeah. Because you can say you have free will, and yeah, I believe to a certain extent, but it's not freedom from consequence, because if that was the case, then Adam and Eve wouldn't be punished for eating from the tree of knowledge. So obviously there's rules and regulations. We are all in a simulation, pretty much. Everything in your life has already been decided for you. He literally gave Adam his job. The first thing he did was when he got Adam, when he made form man. He said, this is your job. You're going to tend to the fields and tend to the animals. That's your first job. And then they said Adam got lonely. And then he decided to create Eve. I mean, this is the modern Bible. I don't know. Some people said his first wife was Lilith. If you read different contexts, listen. But I'm just going by the Bible that's, the modern Bible. So he gave him a job. He didn't have the choice. He didn't have the decision. He's like, look, this is what you do. You come here, you get a job. That's how you gonna make your living here. So technically, he wasn't a simulation. He didn't get to choose. Red flag. Sorry, God. Oh, no. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. I got a whole list of... Listen, if we get to the other side and God is there and I'm like, oops, well, I guess I have a whole list of questions. I hope I could take my iPhone with me. Probably not. I know. Of course. It's going to be in my brain. I'm going to script it right here. I got a whole list of questions. He isn't a simulation. He told him, get to working. You got to tend to the animals and everything. You can't be lazy. And he's like, well, if I'm going to do all this work, I need a woman. How would I need a partner. The animals don't talk to me. And then he's like, all right, I got you. Created Eve. There's your girl. All right, we both, we doing our do. Just naked up in there working. They're bored. All they had was the fields and the animals. That's it. That's why they had to go to the tree of knowledge. They had to get some excitement. Did you ever think of that? It is a simulation, man. We're all in a damn simulation. Everything has already been decided for us. We don't even have the autonomy to choose whether we want to work or not. You can choose, but then you're going to be homeless. You can choose not to work, and you're not going to be working. You're going to be out in the streets. You can choose whatever you want to do. You can choose, I don't want to buy groceries from this place. I want to go this other place. Yeah, but it's going to cost you something. Either your time, your effort. If you want to garden, we're not even taught that. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're in a simulation. Everything has already been decided for us. Paying taxes. You think that first of all, we got to talk about these taxes. Because that's not right. I was born into a world where I have to pay to be here. I got to pay for water. You got to pay for everything. Heat, electricity, everything. It's a simulation. Come on now. So yes, Adam wasn't a simulation. He had to work. He wasn't born and was like, you know what? God's like, no, just decide whatever you want to do. Just, you're here. I don't know. Just figure it out. He didn't even have that choice. He had to work. And then his wife had to support him. What if she didn't want to support him? Was she like, man, he got a nasty ass attitude. That's why when the serpent came, she was like, oh yeah, what you got for us? I'm tired of him. He got a little attitude here. I don't know. There could have been so many situations. We don't know the scenarios, y'all. They're real humans. And hell, if they're anything like us, I know she was getting tired of Adam. She's probably like, oh my God, he's whining all day about having to work. I need to get out of this simulation. What you got for me? What if the serpent offered, hey, I got another world for you. You're going to be able to have your own. You ain't got to be up under Adam. I know he's annoying you. Maybe there's better out there. She took an opportunity. And yeah, unfortunately, it went against God. But hell, if she went against God, there's a reason she had to think that way. We don't know her thoughts. They didn't explain it to us. I wish Eve had her own book in the Bible, but yet here we are. Come on now.
Predetermined, if that means he's predetermined and we live in a simulation, then him being all-knowing and creating this world anyways, because he knew the end of the world before the beginning of it, then he would know who all would choose him and who wouldn't. So then the free
Right, but that doesn't impede on their choice to choose him. That's just him knowing. That's his omniscience.
I want to say
he
two things.
created knowing all of this already. So he still put it into motion knowing how it would end. So that is predetermined because he is the creator of all things. Even with the choice that he gave you, he knew the choice that you would choose.
Right. I want to say two things.
Let's go back even further.
All right, that was it. She didn't clip nothing else from the live stream. I can't wait till she clips some more. All right, let's get to some comments, and then we're going to get to the other video. Lord. Oh, boy. I already know this is going to make my head hurt. Hold on a second. Where's the comment box? If I can't find it, that's okay. I'll just read your comments from the screen. All right. Devonda, you said, yep, she's speaking facts. A lot of Christians are very prideful and self-righteous and very judgmental and get defensive instead of having a nuanced conversation with others. Exactly. And that's something, again, that always bothered me. And I was like, why can't we just have a conversation? Like, why does it have to be I have to be right? No, sometimes other people can bring up some good points. And sometimes, you may bring up some good points. It's supposed to be a dialogue. It's not supposed to be this paternalistic, like, you listen to me and I'm the authority of everything. And honestly, I've noticed that when people have this type of personality where they're the end all be all, it never works out. They are too rigid in their thinking, and that's actually going to hurt you in the long run. The Thrift Queen, hey sis, you said Jackie Hill Perry and her husband need to pull up on her because they know how to defend the faith. Those 20 Christians were not equipped for a discussion like that. Exactly. You need people who can actually talk to you and have a dialogue. And that's the thing. And at the end of the day, people are going to believe what they want to believe. That's okay too. But don't just dismiss people because they think differently from you. And that's a problem for me. It's always been a problem for me. Prince, you said, imagine having a YouTube channel that's pulling hella views and paying you, but not your guest, then saying, I'd love to have you back, but you gotta buy your flight here. And you'd be surprised. She probably was short on money, like, oh, we didn't make the budget. I probably went over budget. Went over budget. Devonda, you said, what the hell? She is a holy roller. She ain't no type of Christian. Yeah. And that's the thing. Hold on. I'm gonna pull up that thing because I noticed that their argument is that, not choosing God is selfish. Like you're more self-righteous or selfish. And then if you choose God, you're selfless. But in actuality, modern Christianity is very selfish, very extremely selfish. If you really think about it, even the prosperity gospel is extremely self-driven. Like when you hear words like God bless me, I'm God's favorite, or God favored me, that's selfish. What about the other people? He don't favor nobody else. It's a I'm special, you're not special. That's a problem. So if anything, I think that modern Christianity makes people selfish 100%, because it's not there. And I want to make it very clear. The Christianity, and actually it wasn't even called Christianity. Christianity came about because, again, after Jesus, he left, then the people who were still bringing in the word and spreading the word around, people called them Xtians or something, and then they rebranded to Christians. So they got the name from somewhere. I forgot who did it. It was some Roman whatever. But either way, the point is that that's not how they used to handle religion back in the day. It has become so monetized and it's become so commercialized that you don't even recognize that you are literally, again, like I said, in a simulation. That's number one. And number two, a lot of modern Christians, I'm not saying all, but churches, they promote that self-grandiosing of like, you're being like, you're the supreme of all. That is a problem. That's not how it was back in the day. Interesting. Continuing. She obviously doesn't know her Bible well, misspoke. That's why I don't like convos like this, because the unbelievers are always ready for a gotcha like the damn devil. I mean, but Thrift Queen, can you blame them though? This is the thing. I think that, you know, when you're a believer, you got to stand on it no matter what. But also, you have to know what you're defending. And if you're not strong enough to go to the debate, I agree with you. She shouldn't have been on that platform. It shouldn't have been like that. It should have been with somebody who could actually debate and actually like answer the questions and actually have a really, really great conversation. There's so many of them. There are a lot of people out there. I forgot what they call them, but there's a lot of like Christians out there who are very well versed, and they are very, you know, they've thought about all of the things, and they have like, I forgot what it's called. I think it's called I forgot what it's called, but it's a certain group of Christians that have that. And unfortunately, the ones that are in the church, a lot of them, like I said, a high percentage, they are just like the two young women that we saw in the video. All right, let's continue. Miami said, in my country, we tolerate all religions that won't cause human death. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I will tell you this, that you cannot force people to believe what you believe. At the end of the day, you cannot do that, unfortunately. And yes, I know that some countries, they do that, and that's a problem. You cannot force people to believe what you believe, but here we are. Third Queen, you said, to say I'm favored could be tied to you being obedient to God's direction and instruction in your life. When you listen and are led by God, he will favor you in ways that will blow your mind. Yeah, but that, at the same time, sis, I gotta disagree with you on that. You are favored, but why? Why are you? What I'm trying to say is this, like, I'm blessed and highly favored. Won't God do it? Which is great. Won't God do it? Or, oh, like if a situation happens, like let's say like, I don't know. I don't want to bring up like a bad situation. But yeah, let's say there's a pew-pewing somewhere. And then someone says, oh, God blessed me, but not other people. At the same time, it does come off as a bit selfish. We got to admit it. It does. Because what about the people who aren't blessed? Is it because they're not Christian? There's a lot of Christians out there who are not blessed and highly favored. I think that's a flawed way of thinking, my opinion. Because there are Christians right now who are probably living in the most dire situations, who are destitute, who are not living in the most, or living in deplorable conditions, and they are still struggling. So is it because they're not following God the way you follow that they are not highly favored? That's another thing you got to grapple with too. It's like there's so many people who are super faithful to the faith, and they're literally like fighting for their lives, and they're literally like out there trying to survive. And would that be considered favored versus somebody who is in a modern world? Because we could say it in the Western world, we can always say that. But if we're in another world, if we're in another dimension, or not dimension, but another situation, I meant to say, then what makes my blessing better than theirs? Why do I get to live here and get resources? Like, I'm blessed to have water. I'm blessed to have like all that stuff, you know, clean water. How come I'm blessed, but somebody else who could probably have way more faith than me, they're living in a place where they don't have access to clean water? Does that mean that I'm more blessed than they are? I'm more favored just because I was born in the right place? That's exactly why I'm saying what I'm saying. I had to really think about that. I was like, wait, what makes me so special? What makes me special more than other people? There are people right now in North Korea probably hiding out, reading their Bible right now as we speak. They will live and die in North Korea. They will never, ever get to experience freedom outside of those confinements of North Korea. I'm not there. What makes me so special and favored versus them? Can we say that they are blessed and highly favored under oppression? And yes, God can find them anywhere and still protect them. But at the same time, it is difficult to explain that if you are not in their situation. So it's difficult to reconcile that and say, oh, you're blessed and favored, but you live over there and I live over here. And maybe, you know, that's what I'm talking about. Continuing. Let me play this one. Hold on quickly. I'll read one more comment from you, sis, and then I do have to start the other video. Sean and Michelle, hey sis, you said God being perceived as a man or a woman throws me off. Yeah, because he's a spirit. But I think it's just a way, like, it's really hard to say. That one, I'm not gonna lie, I still grapple with it. But yeah, it's a spirit. So I think in my mind, it like is God is genderless unless he comes into the flesh, which is through Jesus, which is his son. But yeah, maybe God does have a gender. I mean, I don't know. That one is hard to explain, to be quite honest with you, because people say, oh, he is a he, but then he's a spirit. So is he really a he? Like, yeah, but we'll just say for the purposes of this conversation, he is a he. I'd have to research that a little bit more. I'll be honest. That one is a little off for me. Thrifty, you said obedience moves God because it's better than sacrifice. Yeah, according to the Bible, correct. Obedience is better than sacrifice. That's 100% correct. But there's other, like I said, like those people are obeying too. They're being obedient to death. There's people who are obedient to death. Obedient to the death. So, yeah, I mean, it depends on what you believe in, to be honest with you. But I personally, I never liked the favored part of it. I think, you know, we all should, yeah, that's something I just couldn't handle. Like, it was really hard to reconcile that one. But what I need people to understand is that in Christianity, suffering is a major part of the faith because Christ suffered. Even when you are suffering, you are supposed to bless God. I mean, yeah, suffering is a part of it. That's it. But suffering is a part of Christianity. But at the end of the day, though, like, there are people who have never suffered in the Bible itself. There are people who haven't suffered in the Bible and who've been blessed and who never had to go through turmoil and who just lived a good life. And there are others who have suffered a lot and who have been persecuted, right? So then, you know, I understand what you're trying to say. But at the same time, like, yeah, suffering is part of the human experience. Not everybody is going to live the cookie cutter life. That's 100%. Some people are going to live another completely different life. That is very well true. But then again, my point is that doesn't make one better than the other just because they obey God. I think that it's more so of just life itself. Like, you could be obedient and still, like you said, suffer. But then at the same time, there's people who are disobedient and they don't suffer. They're living a very comfortable life. They're living a very great life, I should say. So there's that too, right? A lot of Christians lack empathy but have a lot of apathy towards non-believers. They always say, what would Jesus do? Yeah. And that's the thing too. That's another problem. Seems transactional. Chai, welcome. You said seems transactional and conditional. Yes. And that's a problem that I've always had too. It's like, why is it always transactional? Like, and that's, again, another problem. But then, you know, when you really think about it, like, it just becomes kind of like a choice. And yeah, that's something that I had grappled with as well. Yeah, transactional. Like, yeah, kind of like parents. When parents say, oh, if you do this, then I'll like, you know, kind of like your parent. Think about it this way. Like, I know, like, I'm just using an analogy before we get into the video, but it's like, you've heard of those parents where they will pay for their kids' schooling. They will do whatever they want for their child as long as the child follows what they want. And the day the child decides to stand up for themselves and have boundaries, then it's a problem. And the child is no longer supported. The child is no longer cared for. And they, you know, probably kick the kid out, or they say, you're not choosing my way, so then you're going to have to live out on your own. And I think that, you know, sometimes, like, when we think about it in that way, yeah, it can be a bit jarring. And it's like, it's supposed to be unconditional. And the Bible talks about that too, unconditional love, or love for the person. You know, even if they're going, that's why they had the whole story about the prodigal son. Even when he went out and did his dirt, he came back and the father was really happy to celebrate him and to be with him, and was like, hey, you're still my son. I still love you. I still want to be around you. And again, like, when we grapple with that type of text, that's what matters the most. But then when you go to church, and this is what I want to make very clear, church culture, modern church culture it does not really facilitate for that to happen. There's a lot of judgment that happens when people come in and try to get to understand things, and there's this kind of dismissive behavior, and that's what I want to get into. So I want to make it again very clear that everybody can have their own beliefs and their belief system, but we shouldn't condemn people who think differently from us just because they think differently from us. And I've always grappled with that, and that's a problem that, again, a huge problem, I believe, in the modern church system. Continuing.
Like the moon, it just makes me feel good because I like looking at the moon.
Oh, yeah, we watched 17 minutes last time, so we'll get through as much as we can get through today. If I can't finish today, move on till tomorrow, because again, I gotta be out of here at 3:30, so an hour and a half.
And especially when it's casted over water. So it doesn't have to be that.
Yeah, I was just going to say really quickly, you reference the Bible a lot about what it says about crystals and about all these different things. What do you feel about what the Bible says specifically about using things outside of the will of God, divination, all these different things that contradict what the Bible says specifically?
Because I like looking at the moon, especially when it's casted over water. So it doesn't have to be that.
Yeah, I was just going to say really quickly, you reference the Bible
Wait,
a
was
lot
this a
about
loop?
what it says
Hold
about
on.
crystals and about
I don't
all
know
these
what
different
happened
things. What do you feel about what the Bible says specifically about using things outside of the will of God, divination, all these different things that contradict what the Bible says specifically?
So because I am using the crystals as a reference point in the Bible, doesn't mean that I have to agree with everything in the Bible. It's just my way of being like, they were also mentioned in the Bible for this reason. So when Christians just demonize crystals, I don't think that's right, because they're in your Bible. And if you use them through the power God has given you or through the power of God, then there is nothing demonic about that. So my whole point is just so Christians stop demonizing them as a whole. Because if I gift you the 12 crystals from the breastplate of Aaron, and you're like, these are demonic, you would have to explain to me why, because these are the crystals that God chose, and I'm not giving them to you to be demonic. I'm giving them to you because they represent the 12 tribes of Israel, blah, 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 blah. So that's my only thing, is that I do not believe crystals inherently are demonic.
So your perspective is that crystals, sorry, my bad. I just want to clarify because I know we're about to wrap up. So your perspective is that crystals are more experiential than they are scientific.
Yeah.
And they can be spiritually dangerous if wielded with the wrong intention.
Anything can be spiritually dangerous if wielded with the wrong intention.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I just want to say, I'm so sorry. I just want to say, Ephesians 6:12 says, "For we wrestle not against powers and principalities, but against
Flesh and blood, yes.
Yes. And I just want to say that I just think that is something very dangerous to subscribe to, just because
What
it's
is
just
my
like.
subscription?
So you're saying that you said it earlier that you just kind of you believe that there are spirituality.
Yeah, you don't even know what you're saying, sis. I'm sorry. You ain't been knowing what you were saying since last week. Okay, I'm gonna let you keep going though.
Can be dangerous, right? Like anybody that possesses this type of spirit in their heart, it can be dangerous, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm just kind of saying that our scripture lets us know and warns us about different things, and I'm not a person that like to mess with fire, okay? So it would just be kind of like a little, I don't know, like I'm not gonna,
but nobody's forcing you to use the crystals.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I also wanted to say that crystals are not demonic. God made everything. He looked at it and he saw that it was good. But the issue is that the way that people are using them,
Yes.
And the manner is not using them in a demonic way.
Yeah, not everybody.
I understand anything outside of God is going to be considered demonic to Christians, because if not of God, then of what? So that I understand as a former Christian.
I think it's the heart of a person that's demonic, not
but if
Christian.
right,
I think
so
that's where we
if
kind of
the
agree.
person's heart is not demonic though, because I think it is very big of you in a way to assume that you can determine whose heart is demonic when you are not God.
Well, I would. Well, actually, I think that we agree that it's not the crystal that possesses
It has to be the person's intention. Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's kind of where what we're trying to say is like the intention can be a dangerous game to play with. That's
I don't
be anything.
That
So
it's spiritually unsafe.
Yeah.
I think is.
I
what
think
we would-
saying spiritually unsafe as a whole is kind of big. I think it can always be spiritually unsafe if somebody that is unsafe is using crystals in an unsafe
Well, we're
we're here
associating it with
representing-
spiritual unsafety. Me specifically, because of the pantheon of gods that are associated with different crystals, you don't necessarily know what you're gonna get.
But you're
Okay, but this is the, again, if we're going to have a conversation, we're going to have a conversation. So if somebody doesn't believe in your God, which is the God of Israel, let's be clear, because the Bible is based off of the God of Israel. That's fact. God of Israel, period. Okay? So there's no other argument about that. That is very fundamentally clear. You believe in the God of Israel. Hindus believe in multiple gods. Islam believes in Allah, the God of, I don't know what region, but y'all roll with me. Unfortunately, I don't know too much about Islam, but they believe in a different God, right? Well, same God, but different context is what I'm understanding. Then you have Buddhism, which believes in just nature, and you are the God, and you have the God within you, and you can practice different types of spirits, but people worship the statues of Buddha. There you go. And you have multiple gods. Voodoo, they believe in different spirits, ancestors. African spiritualism, depending on which country you go through, they believe in different types of deities. So all of that to say, yes, you do not know when you touch something. You need to know how to use it. That's with everything. Like, I don't understand why the concept is so difficult. I have these iron pills right now, right here. If I go and use them as instructed, I'm going to be fine. Yeah, I might get a flare up. Yeah, I might have an allergic reaction. But most people who use iron supplements, they're okay. They're going to be, and this is not sponsored, YouTube, before you try to say, oh, it's sponsorship. This is my iron supplements. I'm not sponsoring. So, yeah, I could use one. It does what it's supposed to do. Where it becomes dangerous is if I misuse it. So, now, when we talk about gods, yes, you can invite different spirits. That's with anything. Anything, whether it's the God of Israel, whether it's the God of whatever. You have to know as a practitioner what you are doing and what you are entering yourself into in whatever you believe in. So, again, it is not just a God of Israel or biblical concept. Even in voodoo, there are some spirits. I think there's one that talked about the, what's his name? Mr. Oh, I don't remember his name. But they were like, if you call him, you better have somebody around you. Because he's going to come and he's going to take you and he's going to do whatever. Like, every single religious system has a fundamental way to practice. It's practitioner, right? So even in real life, if you work in regulation, what happens is we have guidelines over who can practice what activity. What is your scope of practice? And if you are not a person who understands that, then yes, you shouldn't be touching it. So I want to make it clear when they're having this argument, yes, for the God of Israel, you cannot touch this. But for the God of whoever that sis believes in, I'm talking about the Jasmine, she might be the best practitioner there is. So again, it's all about your viewpoint. That is fundamentally what it is. She believes she's the best practitioner. She is able to, she studied the magic. She studied whatever. She's able to do all the divination. Or I don't know what she does, to be honest with you. I don't know. She says she's an occultist. She does different things. So maybe she has proven to be true. She has studied her craft. She is the best of the best. But you cannot tell her it's demonic because that's what she practices. But in your Bible, yes, if she was Christian and she was doing that, then yes, you can rebuke her and say, hey, according to our Bible, you're not supposed to be doing that, sis. But she's not. So what standard are you holding her up to? Just like in our country right now in Canada, I cannot go to an American and say, you're not allowed to practice this. Our laws say that. Well, guess what? They're going to tell me, well, I'm in America, baby. I can do whatever the hell I want. But then if you're in Canada, no, you can't. You gonna get, matter of fact, in Korea, you're not allowed to smoke the Zaza. You're not allowed to do none of that. In Canada, you are. Imagine somebody goes to Korea and they start smoking up a joint. They'll be like, oh, in Canada, we could do this. What do you mean? It's allowed. And they're going to look at you right there and arrest you on site with the equipment, pack you right up out of there, deport you back to your country. Well, this is Korea, baby. Or this is Saudi Arabia, baby. This is Jamaica, baby. Yes. Contrary to belief, they will pack you right up out of there. Y'all never watched Locked Up Abroad? They packed them people up quick because they thought they could go to Jamaica and do, oh, that's with home of Bob Marley. There was recently a guy who got stuck with, I think he had bullets in his pew pew, and then he got, I don't remember which country it was on the island. They packed him right up out of there. Brittany Griner going to Russia with a dang on I don't remember what she had. They packed her right up out of there. She had to get a pardon from Trump. Yeah, you could do it in America, baby, but not in Russia. So same concept applies. If you are a Christian, then yes, you shouldn't be doing that. You should not be practicing that. Yes, it is seen demonic to the God of Israel that you serve. But she does not serve the God of Israel. So to her, it doesn't matter. She's doing something good to her. That's the point.
Your God is associated in the pantheon.
Whereas we would consider the Christian perspective to always be safe because we believe Jesus to be fully kind and fully benevolent.
Oh my gosh, she's saying that. There we go. Exactly.
That are fully kind and fully benevolent. So because we do not know them, because y'all are not seeking them out to know them in the same way that you would know God, because that is not me trying to get you to convert. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying you don't go seeking out other faiths and other beliefs to see, hey, could I get with this? Because that would be considered blasphemous within Christianity.
I was going to say, and I don't agree that it's somebody's intention that makes the practice demonic. There's a reason why they say the road to hell is paved with people who had good intentions. And a lot of the people who become possessed by demons didn't go into it saying, yes, I want to be possessed by a demon by trying to gather a spirit from this crystal. So that's why I believe it's a dangerous practice. And honestly, obviously, I believe nobody should be doing it.
Okay. And she's right. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. But guess what? They even said in the Bible that people who said, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, will not make it to the kingdom. So how can you explain that? There are people right now who are preaching God's name. They have not touched a crystal in their life. They have never dabbled into witchcraft. They are literally talking God's name and doing whatever, who knows what they're doing, and they might not see the light of heaven. So there again, it's all about your belief system. And yes, in the Bible it does say that, but like I said, she does not believe in the Bible, so to her it's irrelevant. And I want people, especially my fellow Christians out there, to realize that and this is the funniest thing, if somebody came to you with the Quran and started talking about what Muhammad said, you would be up in arms and you'd be upset. And that person would be within their rights, just like you are, and saying, hey, this is what we believe in. This is what it is. Allah said this, Allah said that, Allah said that. And you would rebuke that person with the quickness and say, no, well, I don't believe in that. I believe God, da, da, da. So why can't we extend the same grace to people who do not believe? Because you wouldn't convert to Islam. I know half of y'all wouldn't. Y'all be demonizing Islam like there's no tomorrow. But then to somebody who practices that, that's their entire life. That's their faith. They understand that to be the truth. So then what you gonna say? What are you gonna say? Exactly. That's my point. Because you wouldn't be sitting here saying all that.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
I don't think most people realize how much time they spend in a state of go.
Okay, sis. Love the ad for you. Continuing. I love how she inserted it right in the middle. Okay.
Hi, Danielle.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Alexi.
Hi, I'm Audrey. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Audrey.
I'm Elle. I'm happy to see you.
Happy to see you. Okay, the question, or the prompt is, burning sage invites peace and drives away evil spirits. I do believe burning certain herbs, whether it be rosemary, cedarwood, juniper, lavender, those can have properties, just like burning resins, myrrh, or something to that effect.
Yeah, if I could, well, just for the sake of the people that are watching with the prompt, sage invites peace, right? And the second part was that it drives away evil spirits.
Yes.
I would say first with the peace part of it, we see in scripture Romans 1:25 where it says they've traded the truth of God for a lie and they worship the creation instead of the creator. So when I think about peace, right, I'll also go back to scripture and see Isaiah 26 and and 3, where it says that he gives perfect peace whose minds are stayed on him. So I get a little confused there when we talk about it gives peace, because Sage gives peace because they sell it by the bulk, which means that if you want peace, you have to continue to go and buy and get it more and more. And I can see where it can bring relaxation, but not necessarily peace, and the perfect peace that God gives us that transcends all understanding. So I wouldn't agree that sage, a plant, can bring peace. I think it can bring relaxation, much like a candle, but not necessarily peace.
I agree with her on that. And I will say this, though. I also agree with Jasmine on that. So this one is, again, yes, you can use it as a tool for relaxation. And I get where she's coming from, where it's not going to really give you peace. It's kind of like just a tool. But I also believe that you can use tools to relax yourself. So for example, you know how people use like a hot heating pad, right? You put the heating pad behind your back if you're feeling any type of ailment, or you can use like any type of like tool. Some people use, hold on, I'm trying to think of what would happen if I had a back. Yeah, exactly. When I'm on my cycle, sometimes I use heating pads. Sometimes I use the heated water bottles. Sometimes I take Tylenol. Sometimes I take Advil. Now, will it completely resolve my issue? Not necessarily. It'll temporarily give me that, the fix that I need. But yes, it's not going to fundamentally fix my issues, which is, again, heavy periods caused by whatever's going on internally. And yes, you may need to find a permanent solution, such as weight loss, such as maybe you need to have surgery, maybe you have fibroids, endometriosis, adenomyosis. There's so many different things that contribute to your pain. So again, the sage, yes, it is just used to relax your body, but again, it's also what is available to you. And this is the problem that I have too. It's like, yes, God can give you perfect peace, but you can also use other tools. If I'm in pain right now, I'm so sorry. I love God with all my heart, but I'm gonna go and get my Tylenol, because I could pray until the sun comes up and I'm still gonna feel them cramps. But guess what? Somebody created Tylenol for me not to be in pain. And also somebody has a doctor that's available to me where I could get something removed to alleviate my pain. So I don't understand what she's talking about here. We have resources available. Burning sage to me is the same as you getting a pill, or you getting, like I said, you taking something, a gummy or whatever, to alleviate your pain or your stress. It's a stress reliever. Can God give you that? Yes. Can reading your Bible relieve your stress? Absolutely. But so can other things. Hello.
And then when we get to the place where we say that it drives out evil spirits, this is probably the part that kind of gets me the most, is that sage is not a weapon that demons bow to. Demons bow to authority. So that's why we see in Luke 10 and 19, he says, my authority I give you to tread on serpents and scorpions. So I think in this New Age, but I know you said you weren't New Age, I think it's more so not only a source issue where it's like what source, but a faith issue, because the word of God says that faith comes by hearing. And I think a lot of people with New Age or spirituality depend a lot on what they see instead of what they hear.
But how you know it's not your own voice, sis? Because hell, half of them people talking about they heard the voice of God, and I know some people are loony. I know some people have not heard the voice of God. They heard the voice of themselves. Can people hear the voice of God? Absolutely. But more often than not, when I hear somebody say, God told me, I know it's going to be in shambles. I have a lot of God told me in my life. And guess what? None of those things came into fruition. It was my own wanting and doing. Same thing with my parents. They said, God told us this. God said this. If I could tell you a life story, I would. But I'm going to keep it cute right now because of time. So many people said, God told me that's my husband. God told me that. God told me. So yeah, you cannot blame people for wanting to see the proof. Come on now. Let's not get in. And this is a thing. I think we can both, and this is a crazy conversation because it's like both of them have good points. And there's something we can learn from each other. But yet again, if you restrict yourself too much, I'm not saying you have to believe what Jasmine believes by any means. You don't have to. But at the same time, you got to listen to what you're saying. It doesn't make sense to me. Are you going to manifest a burger? If you're hungry, you going to wait for God to tell you to eat? Or is your stomach going to growl? Is God going to have to tell you, you need to eat, my sis? And you don't see the food, but let's sniff your way to the food. Here, go on. Find a way to find it. Remember, she said it's not by seeing. So, yeah, you're going to sniff your way. Go find it. No, sometimes you do have to see things. You have to visualize it. That's why we have auditory. That's why we have vision. This is why we have all of the senses. We need to use all of them. You have sight. Some people are auditory. Some people are visual learners. Some people are both. Some people are kinetic learners. I don't know. Some people like to use their hand. They're tactile learners. So yes, some people, maybe the New Agers, they are more visual learners. And maybe you are more auditory. Have we ever thought about that? But no, everybody has to fit into your view of the world, and that's a problem too. We're all so multifaceted and we have unique abilities. Our body is insane what our bodies can do, and yet here we are. Don't believe what you see. Don't believe what is reality. Just believe what you believe, and the voice inside your head that you believe is God.
Right, hearing the word of God, right? So they use things that they can see, like sage, crystals, tarot cards. And I believe even with that, it's like we want the spirituality, but we don't want the accountability, right, that comes with it. So, and I'll make my last point. So we talked about power even before. I heard you mention power a few times. And what I think, again, with New Age and spirituality is that, yes, we know that there can be power there, but we are talking about authority, right? And there's a difference between power and authority. Much like I used to be a police officer, and if a semi truck was coming down the street, all I had to do was raise my hand, and what would the semi truck do? It would stop because power has to always bow to authority. So my question would be, why would you or anyone who practices New Age or spirituality choose a lesser power?
What? You see, this is, again, lesser power to you. But guess what? They also have a system where they have authority. In Haiti, voodoo. I done told y'all, my grandmama, listen, I know all about that. My grandmama was a voodoo practitioner. She converted to Christianity. So my parents, or my dad, is the first generation Christian of her children, right? So she had 11 kids. So when my grandmama used to do voodoo practicing, there's always Buckok. We call them Buckok. That's like the head leaders or whatever. Buckok on top of it. There's a hierarchy there too. So we also have to consider that they also have a hierarchy, just like you have a hierarchy. That's what they believe fundamentally. So you're saying they're a lesser power, like my God versus your God. And yes, if you look in the Bible, that's exactly what happened. If you look at the, I think it's Exodus, when Moses and Aaron went in front of the Pharaoh and they had like a God off or whatever. It was a competition. Whose God's better? Who God could do whatever. Yes. In your Bible, that's what it says. But guess what? In whatever she believes in, there's a whole different system. And they might think their God is better than yours. Again, that's her belief. And I feel like this conversation, I really would love to see what came out of this, because I just feel like it's my side versus your side. But yeah, there's really no answer, y'all. I'm being honest. At the end of the day, people gonna believe what they want to believe, but there was no shared understanding. I would have loved to find out like more about like, okay, what is she talking about? I don't know what Jasmine, I still till now, how many minutes we've been in this? 27 minutes. I still don't know what Jasmine believes in. She just said she's a witch and occultist. I feel like we've spent more time digging into Bible verses than actually hearing how she practices her faith. I want to hear who she summons, who she prays to, who she does her divination. I would love to know that, to hear it. I would love to hear how she reconciled herself, how she deconstructed, what she did. There's nothing like that. It's a whole bunch of you said, he said, she said, I should say. I don't see, it's kind of, I'm sorry, y'all, it's getting pointless a little bit here. It's just arguing back and forth.
When you have the opportunity to have authority.
Ooh, glad you asked me that. So let's talk about lesser power. I think when you guys say new age, the words mean things. So new, meaning relatively just showed up on the scene. But Christianity is also new. The Bible in which you are speaking of was written when? 1,500 years ago, until I believe 95 AD. John of Patmos was the last one he wrote Revelations. So if we have this book that was written by over 40 plus authors, but over the span of almost 15.
Y'all, China is older than the Bible. Just think about it. China is older than the Bible. Wrap your heads around that. So yes, it is fairly new. So everything, even Egyptian practices, precede the Bible. So people have already had this type of, again, they've already had this thought process. Everybody is trying to find the right way to do things, or trying to find what works for them spiritually. And there was a video, I'll see if I could play it. I'm gonna see, I forgot where, I think I saved it on TikTok. I'll play it tomorrow. Where, again, most of these religions, they came up out of where you were and what was going on at that time politically. So, for example, in the future, we don't know if people are going to look at MAGA like a savior. Like maybe I'm being honest, though. Maybe there's going to be a whole book of MAGA. We don't know what's going to come out of the time frame that we're in, right? So it's just very interesting that, again, like, yeah, she's right. It is pretty new. And there were people from way before, dynasties from way before, that would practice different things. So, again, it all comes down to where you were born, what you believe in, how it got ushered in. And spoiler alert, if you are black and you were part of the transatlantic slave trade, or your ancestors were, such as mine, we did not practice this. We didn't even know about none of that. Well, I mean, some regions. I know Ethiopia has the oldest Bible. But yeah, we were practicing different things. Even in Haiti, Christianity became popular in Haiti around the my grandparents were, around the time of my grandparents. Like I told y'all last week, the Haitian Revolution did not happen with Christianity. It was voodoo. A voodoo ceremony. So it's fairly new, especially to a lot of us, especially to a lot of people sitting right there on that stage. Their ancestors did not practice it. And if they did so after the whole slave trade. It was inherited. Hell, slaves weren't even allowed to read in the United States of America. So, again, these are questions that we need to, you got to think about it. Who benefits from this? And again, like, I'm not trying to sway people from thinking how they believe. I know that, I could be wrong. Who knows? But if you're thinking about it from a critical lens, then it does seem like a simulation. I got to be honest. It does. Relatively so. Because how do we know the God of Israel is the only God that is the most powerful? Because that's what they told us. Have we actually, and I'm not going to this, I ain't got that type of time, but have we actually sat down and thought about that? I know a lot of people have, but it's just a rhetorical question. How do we know the God of Israel is the most powerful? Because God told us, yeah. But then at the same time, again, there could be people who have different experiences. And some people say, I saw God, God worked in my life, God did this, God did that. But again, you don't know what you don't know. So you're only limited to your frame of reference. And so, again, this conversation, like I said, is just going in a loop at the end of the day.
100 years, but humans ourselves have been around almost in this current version of our bodies, 50,000 years. We are missing a lot of time there. So when we say this
why would I settle for a lesser power? I think if you use aromatherapy and you end up relaxed, you're experiencing peace. Perfect peace will be something that is debatable because you are a Christian and I am not. So perfect peace, has anybody ever pissed y'all off? Do y'all still get pissed off sometimes? That don't feel like perfect peace to me if somebody has the ability to piss you off every now and then. But that's okay because that's part of life. So when I think about bowing or using a lesser, I am not giving sage, just like I am not giving crystals the whole, oh, the power is in the sage. No, actually, what does this say? Drives away evil spirits. White sage is used to invoke spirits. Now, y'all are going to call them demons because they're not of God. But depending on what the spirit is, it may not be malevolent to me. So I may not call it a demon. I may just reference it as a spirit. But then there are demons within spirituality that we do recognize.
That's what I was saying. Every religious practice has the demons, y'all. That's why they have the hierarchy. Oh Lord, when you really look at it and you go through like different religious texts, like it's like we're all saying the same thing, like at the foundation, but different variations of the same thing.
And do they care about sage? I almost cussed. No, they don't care about sage, but I'm not using sage to drive them away. I'm not using any herbs to drive them away. We do something totally different for something like that. So when we talk about bowing, I think there's also this conception that I am not utilizing a power bigger than myself. I don't do anything solely or alone or just off my own strength. Every now and then maybe, but normally I am calling something through. I have ancestors, and I have ancestors that did big stuff, big things. And so I will call them through. I may call through.
Have your ancestors ever died and came back? Because I remember you had mentioned earlier today.
Did you see Jesus die and come back?
I didn't see Jesus die and come back, but we see, but we do see in scripture where he did die and he came back.
Yeah. Yeah. So, was Jesus a real person? Absolutely. There's historical text to back that up. Did he die and come back? According to the Bible, yes, he did. But again, is the testimony of the people who were there to witness it at that time. So it's all within the Bible. It's not outside of the Bible. And this is where people have a problem, because if he did die and come back, why did he only show himself to the disciples but not to people who were like, who persecuted him? But then again, in defense of that, they could say, oh, well, Christianity was so hated at the time that they didn't want the text to reveal that, and so they wanted to hide it from mankind that he did come back, because maybe he roamed around and people just purposefully kept that out of the Bible. That could also be part of the equation too. So again, it goes by faith. Like, you have to really believe that he did do that based on what the Bible says and not what other historical texts have said. So there's another level of faith, but you can't really prove it, because again, you would have to have strong evidence that he did come back, and it's all within the same book that she does not believe in. It wasn't in other texts. That's another thing. So when you really think about it, you got to have a strong faith in that too. So my point is saying that I know that sis is trying to defend Christianity, but she also has to realize that people don't see it in that way, because they're thinking that there's nothing else outside of the Bible that tells them that. And same thing with the New Ages. Like, there's nothing outside of their practitioner book that has the evidence of this. So it's basically them practicing whatever they believe in. So that's also another element of faith too. Like I said, it's all pointless at the end of the day, because you're going to believe in what you're going to believe in and stand on it.
And we have eyewitnesses.
I just want to make sure we have time so I can
eyewitnesses from the Bible, sis. Not from the Bible.
Everybody else,
sure, no problem.
Really just want to finish answering your question.
Sure.
I don't want to beef though.
Sure.
But have any of my ancestors died and come back? One, brought back on a morgue table. because that happens. People do die and then get revived. Just to answer your question as you asked it. Yes.
But they're not God, Jasmine, so we can't use the same example. But I get where you're going with that.
One of my ancestors has died and come back. But do I think they are Jesus? No. Do I think that they can save me from all? No, because my ancestors were humans. They were people. They had their own problems, but they had their own strengths. The same way you trust grandma to pray for you, I trust my ancestors in the ancestral realm to do what they can for me over there. What's your standpoint, though?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, you.
To be honest with you, I think she did a really good job. Sis that just spoke with the curly hair, on the Christian side, she was the one who sounded the most sensical. The other ones were combative. I think she actually seems like she's like, you know, she was really trying to understand, but also this was a good exchange that she had with her. So I gotta say that.
You were talking about your ancestors. I'm guessing they appear to you and help you with things.
You see, she should have never been on this panel. I'm so sorry. Okay, she could be on the panel, but you cannot talk, sis. You're gonna have to mute it. When we talk about ancestors, no, because your people did damage. So you might want to sit for another prompt. They shouldn't let her speak. I'm so sorry. No, me, I would be like, I'm sorry. Can you answer the next prompt? This is not a conversation you want to have, sis. You can't. Because again, the belief of many people is that your peoples, people who look like you, I don't know where she from, but people who look like you, they are the ones who remove that from what we practice in the modern world, right? So, and they also were the ones who enslaved us. So you cannot, no, sis. You stay out this. You're going to have to go to the next prompt, my sister. Next prompt. But I would love to hear what she has to say, but I don't think she should be part of this conversation because they're the ones who caused all of this. This whole entire situation is them.
Things, because you're talking about in the spiritual realm.
To me, but yes.
In the spiritual, so what's that look like for you?
It's an experience. So my mom died when I was 6. I cannot hear my mom's voice because I have not seen videos of my mom since I was maybe 7 or 8. So I don't know what her voice sounds like anymore. So when my mom shows up, it is an overwhelming sense of safety. I immediately burst into tears, and it just feels like because I remember what being around my mom was like. They say I was a daddy's girl, but I know I was always with my mama, and I got lots of photos with my mom. So that's how I experience her versus my Aunt Annette. My Aunt Annette don't take shit. So when she comes through, I feel her kind of settle down. Like sometimes, because I'm a channeler, so I don't always have to see things. Apparitions, I'm not going to hold y'all, would scare me.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right here for a little bit. Let me read some comments because I have an hour left and we still got to get through the Girlicious of it all. I might have to do Girlicious and Cat's Eye continuation tomorrow. But I want to touch on one point before I read your comments. That she's right. In the sense of like, I have heard of people that have NDE, so near-death experiences, or people who are about to pass away, they see the ancestors from the past. So my uncle, rest in peace to him, he passed away recently, and my sister told me that she heard that he was calling for his older sister who had passed. That's my dad's older sister who had passed many years ago. Like years. She passed away when I was like 9 or 10. And he kept seeing dreams of her. I remember when my aunt passed, that was when I was 16 years old, and she was at the hospital. She had cancer, and she saw my ancestors, our ancestors. And then I remember my mom had a dream, and she saw like these 2 elder people that used to be at our church. They passed away, and she saw them in the dream, and they were picking up my aunt to go to the next, the afterlife. So this is very much a reality. And so that's why I said that it's important to have these conversations because, yes, again, I'm not saying that Christians should prescribe to that. Obviously not, because the Bible does not permit that. However, at the end of the day, it is a true experience that a lot of people have of seeing people before they pass and while they're close to death. So if they can see that when they're close to death, then you can definitely see it in your dreams too. And how many of you guys have had dreams of people from the past or people who have passed away? I don't have vivid dreams like Jasmine does, but I know many people who have. And so again, like, this is another thing that we have to discuss. So yeah, there's no right answer, right or wrong. Like I said, this is just a conversation. You're going to believe what you want to believe in. But yeah, you can see people in your dreams. Just like Jesus. Actually, Bible talks about it. we're going to talk about it real quick before I read comments. When Paul had the scales put on his eyes, remember, Paul was a murderer. He had murdered, he participated in the murder of Stephen. Stephen, in case you guys don't know who he was in the Bible, he was a really like staunch, what you would consider a Christian, a believer. And so he went around and he prophesied and he helped people, blah, blah, blah. And he was all about Jesus, all about that. And Paul and his people, because he was part of the Pharisees, he was part of the people who stoned Stephen. And so Jesus had passed prior to Paul becoming what you would call now a Christian. And Paul had a dream. And he never met Jesus a day in his life, but yet he saw him in his dream. And yeah. Same thing with Muhammad and Joseph Smith. They said they saw Jesus in their dream. Interesting. So yes, like I said, we all have similar things. It's just different variations. Reading comments now. Lord, I know it's probably going to get dicey in there, but who knows? Whatever. This is a conversation, y'all. I don't shy away from topics like these. Hold on. Damn, I can't put the comments up. Goodness. I think I deleted it. I wish I could put it on the screen. Hold on. Let me see if I can put it. You know what? We don't have time. Okay. It's okay. I'll just read them from here. Okay. You said, Romy, I don't think that's what anyone is saying. Saying what? I'm sounding condescending, Mayame. Well, that's your opinion. I'm sorry. What? I did not sound condescending at all. At all. I think I'm being very respectful, actually. I'm being very extremely respectful. I'm trying to and again, these are the conversations because, again, are you triggered by what I'm saying or you're triggered by how I'm saying it? But at the end of the day, it wouldn't matter how I said it. You would still feel triggered. So yeah, I'm trying my best. I felt like I was more condescending last week. This is me being nice, actually. But that's very interesting. You think that. Devonda, yes, we have 45 people here reminding everyone to be respectful of everyone's opinion and different perspectives. Thank you, Devonda. Thank you. Mental health toolkit. How are you, sis? Hold on. Let me go up to the top. I'm not going to go too far. I need to see where I'm being condescending. Okay. Thrift Queen, you said a lot of Christians are humans and are works in progress, which is why you get that people expect Christians to be perfect, and that's just not the case. They need God just like everybody else. Yeah, I agree, sis, but the problem is that they don't act like it, and that's the problem. I'm not talking about all, but a majority don't, and that's the problem. It's like, if you need help, or if you know you're not human, then just say that. There's a way you can talk to people, but if you act as if you are better, then people are going to assume that you are. It's all about that. It's all about just being authentic. I think that's where it's coming from. So it's authenticity. Prince, I think the issue is how some of the loudest believers come across the non-believers like they're beyond reproach because they believe. I'm definitely going to expect perfection due to that. Exactly. As soon as you put out there that you are better, or you have you show people that you're better, then yes, people are going to hold you to a higher standard. That's just human nature, right? So it's kind of like social media content creators. How many times have we seen people say, oh, I have this, I have a car. It's because you're not applying yourself. You're not doing this. You're not successful because you're not, doing this, that, and the third, X, Y, and Z. And then come a few years later and then, they fell on tough times. The first thing people are going to do is be in the comments and be like, so what happened to that $1 million you got? What happened to this that you got? What happened to this that you were flaunting? So it's the same thing. It's like, there's a level of humility that needs to be had. And unfortunately, if you don't have that, then you need to go and reevaluate. That's the point. So yeah, you shouldn't base your expectations on a large minority. That's fair. But at the same time, those are the experiences that people are having with people that they see all the time. And again, I'm like I said, it's not an isolated experience. This is the norm. This is the norm. You could even see it, and it's also country dependent, by the way. So I have to make it very clear. We have people who are very international. We have people who are in the chat that are from different countries. If you are in Western America, especially if you're in the United States of America, Canada, not so much. Canada is very secular. But if you're in the US of A, you are going to have a different perspective of the Christians that you encounter. They sound just like them. Whereas if you're in another country, maybe your experience is different. I got to make that very clear. So we have to be mindful of that. Your personal experience might be different because you're in a different region, or you're in a different city, you're in a different state, you're in a different place. But if you're in the US of A, trust and believe me, you will see people like that. You will. Canada is not religious at all. You're not going to see that. It's very secular, actually, compared to America. So you're not going to see people going, like, yeah, of course there's churches around here and stuff like that, but there's a big different culture when it comes to religion and church, right? So yeah. Tahiri's Dream Life, welcome, sis. You're not late, but I only got like an hour left, so I gotta go through Girlicious. I might have to stop it here with the religion and then pick it back up tomorrow because it's a long video. Okay. Mayame Prince, you said Mayame, it's kind of hard to find full knowledge in a subject alone, though, which is why people seek out answers from people who do believe. Yeah, there you go. Mayame, it's like being prejudiced towards, for example, Muslims, because the Muslims that may be around you may not be the best people, but there are good Muslims out there. Yeah, absolutely. No one's saying that. But to be honest with you, Muslims as a whole, like, you can't, like, again, you cannot say that if you live like in a country where your predominant religion is another religion. So for example, in the United States of America, you will have Muslims are minority compared to Christians, right? So then most of your encounters will be with Christians. That's just how it goes. Whereas if you live in like Dubai, then most of your encounters will be with Muslims. So then you'll have more people complaining about, oh, Muslims this, Muslim, whatever, Islam this, Islam that. So your experience is based on where you live. That's literally what it is. And that's what I was trying to say earlier. So I can go to a country like, for example, China. China's Buddhist, y'all. Even though they say they're secular, they have more Buddhist temples than anything, right? So most of my experiences will probably be with non-believers or people who don't believe in God, and also probably atheists or Buddhists. So then my frame of reference will be completely different. Whereas, you know, when people talk about Christians, it's not because they're saying, oh, Christians are so much worse than another. It's just that's what is where they are. That's the religion of the majority. So that's another context that I have to put out there. Mental health toolkit. Crystals alone aren't dangerous, but there are people that use them for bad intentions and bring evil towards each other. Exactly. And we went over that last week. So sorry if you missed that part. But last week we talked about that. It's how people wield it. Okay. They are pretty. They are pretty. They're so, I told that. They are so pretty. Yeah. Mayame, you said that's why I'm saying you have to read for yourself and discover for yourself and also meet different Christians. Yeah, that's fair. But again, you can't tell him that if he lives in a place where most people are like this. You can tell him, oh, go to a church, whatever. And what if the church close to him has the people that are like that? Yes, you're going to find people who are different. Yes, you are going to find people who are amazing. That's with all races, all creeds, all religions, period. However, based on where you live, it's going to be a different experience, especially in the, like I said, US of A is extremely religious, especially now. So if you see what's going on in the United States of America, and most people who prescribe to MAGA are Christian or identify as Christian, then how is that going to work for the branding? Even the president of the United States is saying he is doing all of this in the name of Christianity. So then how can you expect people to not have this kind of reaction? And then you have the 20 verses 1, which is in a microcosm. It's like a micro, I guess, it's on a micro scale, I should say. And you have people reacting like this. Like I said, the sis in the white was the only one who actually tried to have a conversation. Everybody else was talking over or trying to prove their point. So then there's that too. And again, Jasmine's not perfect. Obviously, there were some flaws in her thinking that I pointed out, but at the end of the day, this is the reality people live in. So we have to also see it from that lens. And this is why I like having these conversations, because you have to open up your mind a little bit when you talk about these things, because you don't know that person's experience and what they have seen, and also what they believe, and the area where they live in, and also the context of where they live in. It's very context specific. And even in Israel, so again, the God of Israel, the Bible comes from the Torah. There's some elements, well, the Old Testament's most definitely from the Torah, and they practice Judaism differently as well. In Israel, even in Israel, there's a different type of like ways that they practice the same book, essentially. So we got to keep that in mind as well. LOL, Brittany Griner got released through, oh, my bad, I thought it was through Trump. Wasn't it through Trump? Wait, are you sure it was Biden? Hold up. Oh, it was Biden. My bad, sis. I thought it was Trump. I was like, the whole time I thought it was Trump. But he pardoned mad people. He pardoned Kodak Black. He pardoned some other people too. Okay, I'm a closeted atheist, but I'm willing to listening to people's testimony as long as it's not harmful. Yeah, and that's what's up. It's all about listening to other people and their perspectives. I've had conversations with atheists as well, and and I've had conversations with agnostics. I have had conversations with Muslims. I've had conversations with Hindus. I've had conversations with people who prescribe to many different religions, spiritual people, everyone. I think it's just having conversation and understanding their worldview and why they believe what they believe in. Matter of fact, when I went to China, I did not restrict myself from visiting temples. I went to go see what they look like. I went to go see what people were doing. I saw how people were praying, and how they were having the little Buddhist beads and whatever. Now, would I practice Buddhism? No. But there are some aspects of Buddhism, again, that you can find everywhere in every practice. That's what I'm saying. It's very multidimensional. You can't just restrict yourself. But again, that's my opinion. I don't want to restrict myself from that. So I try to learn and see what's the best, what fits, what makes the most sense to me. And if Christianity makes the most sense to you, then that's what it is. But you cannot, for me, you cannot just dismiss other people because whatever they're practicing makes the most sense to them, and we have to respect that. That's my literal thesis here, my literal point. You see Jasmine rolling her eyes. Yeah, there was both of them. Yeah, both groups. I think for me personally speaking, yeah, she did roll her eyes. Probably I didn't see it fully, but yeah, I could see that happening. This is a conversation. I hate heavy periods. Girl, me too. It's so annoying. And I have to that's another thing. Imagine if I prayed away my heavy periods. I have to get iron infusions because these do not work for me. But then there's some religions like Jehovah's Witnesses. They believe you can't. Was it Jehovah's Witnesses? Yeah. I remember Selena. Y'all know Selena Quintanilla. I hope I said her name right. Right. I'm so sorry. Selena, the one who passed away. The singer, the Mexicano, the Chicano, I forgot her genre. Y'all, I'm not gonna butcher it, but her parents were Jehovah's Witnesses, and I heard that they didn't allow her to have a blood transfusion. Now, I don't know if this is true, but I do believe that if you're Jehovah's Witness, you're not allowed to get a blood transfusion, or you're not allowed to get different things. I get iron infusion, so for other people, it might be not part of their religious practice, right? But then it's a tool offered to me, and guess what? It makes me feel good. It's again, it fills me up with I'm iron deficient, so it replenishes my blood supply. That's it. It's just a tool, like I said. Imagine if I was sitting there just praying for God to heal me when I literally have a tool right there at my disposal. This is what I'm talking about. It's sometimes you have to, you got to think about things a little differently. And that's all I'm saying. It doesn't always have to be by hearing or by faith or by whatever. Sometimes you just need to take action. Sometimes it's a matter of, okay, I see it. Maybe I need to see this to believe it. Sometimes you might need to see something. I need to see evidence. I need to see proof. Imagine if the justice system was set up in a way where we're just listening to people and then waiting for God to tell us what it is. Imagine. And that might work in other places. It's not going to work where we live at. I would not trust that justice system. Red flag. No, I need to see the evidence. DNA. That's what it's there for. No, we can't always go by seeing, and that's the thing. There needs to be a balance, right? All welcome. Oh yeah, I already read that. I don't know what she said that was wrong. I don't get it. But yeah, you can have your perspective. Yeah, Princey said, I understand that. Unfortunately, there are too many sects of religion that tend to give it a bad day. Maybe there will be enough loud, nice Christians to drown them out eventually. Yeah, that's probably it. Yep. Mayame, you said, I have been in a dark place before, not as dark as most people, but I have seen God work for me. And that's what's up. That's 100% factual. And yeah, I've seen, like I said, that's your experience. And I would never invalidate that at all. Manifesting what you want in life in divine alignment. Exactly. Mocha, you said, is it wrong to say I don't like it when someone is quoting Bible verses for every response and we both don't have the Bible in hand? I feel like that technique is manipulation and used to belittle. Yes, I agree with you, Mocha. I agree. I want to hear grandma testimony. What's grandma testimony? Who's grandma? Oh, my grandma. She's dead. She been dead. My grandmama died when I was born. Like I was about to be born. She passed away. Okay, so I could tell you in a long story short, my grandmother, what ended up happening was that her there were some missionaries who came to our area in Haiti where my parents lived. Not my parents, my dad. I keep saying my parents. My dad lived. And my cousin, my aunt, so her daughter was sick, and then she prayed, or the missionary person prayed, and then my aunt got healed, because my aunt had diabetes though. So this is the thing. So again, my aunt was sick, and she tried to get the I think they said that she put a rope under my aunt. I don't know, she was trying to do something, and then it wasn't working. And so she used to give food to Satan or the altar or something like that, whatever she was practicing. I don't really know too much details, but she used to give food at the altar. And then she said that there was a missionary, because missionaries came to Haiti at the time. And so what ended up happening was that the missionary prayed for my aunt, and then my aunt got healed, or she was a little better. And so my grandma decided to prescribe to Christianity, and then she converted. And then my grandfather, though, he didn't want to convert. But then after a while, I think, because my aunt was like really serious. My grandma was really serious about it. Then he decided to convert as well. And so they were the first two Christians. And then all of my aunts and uncles are Christian now. And my dad, including my father. What I will say, though, and this is where I'm saying what I'm saying, is that they talk like these folks. So again, we can say that there's some great Christians. Are they great people? Absolutely. I love them. But they are very judgmental. And they are very extremely traditional. And so, again, we have to consider the fact that, yes, I think it was a really great testimony. My grandmama, she converted and never looked back. She never went back. And yes, God can do miracles, do great things, amazing things. However, all I'm going to say, and again, I don't want to spill too much tea, but all I'm going to say is they weren't living the life. And again, they're flawed individuals just like all of us. And so they have that mindset that those some of those women have. And even with the best intentions, it's like, it can become cultish. And so this is where we have to remember where we came from and where we were at the bottom, because nobody started off as like this champion Christian. And I think that's where I'm going with this, is like, you have to remember where people are and respect that. That's it. So all of that to say, though, fast forwarding, my aunt had diabetes. So that's what was the problem. But again, Haiti didn't have the necessary health care or the health care at the time. And so there's that. Not only that, but the missionaries, they ended up building a school on the land. So they took land away from us to build a seminary. All I'm going to say is that. Just leave it alone. So what ended up happening is they ended up putting the seminary there, and then everyone in the village became Christian. Yeah. And then now the seminary is still there, but then my dad was there teaching a few years ago. If you have been on my channel a long time, you know my daddy got locked up at a Christian school. We'll talk about that another time. I can't go over the story. Maybe he can talk about his testimony. And when I was growing up, again, we had to be religious. We had to wear skirts. We had to do all the traditional things. And again, you couldn't question anybody. You had to go to school. Go to church all the time. There was no, and again, my dad, he was open-minded more than his siblings. But then when he got around his siblings, it was like a whole nother person. Like, anyways, we'll talk about that. There was a lot of, like, again, somebody mentioned in the comments, psychosis. There was a lot of like judgmentalness. There was a lot of like different belief systems, all within just family. And again, if you grew up seeing that, then you can see that there's definitely a flawed system. And not only that, but a lot of hypocrisy on top of that. So there's that. So yeah, that's her testimony, y'all, but she's gone, so there's no way that she'll be able to tell her story. Mocha, you said it's also interesting that there was a one Christian versus 28 New Age video before this that didn't make the same impact like this has. Maybe we should watch it. Maybe she spoke facts. This is just a video following the Jubilee template, cut up parts and evil editing to make people look bad. That's possible too. Devonda, you said a lot of these Christian women looking miserable looking at their face when she talks, and that's and I think again that's another issue. They disagree with it. Miami, you said this is pointless. Yeah, it's going around in circles. Devonda, we need to have a serious discussion with Christian women who are male-centered. Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, that's how the religion is. So it's like you submit to your husband. So how it goes is God, husband, wife. So yeah, I mean, it does follow the patriarchy 100%. So there's that. I can't deny that. Miss Bree said, just coming in. Hey, Miss Bree, how are you, sis? We're talking about the Bible, huh? Heavy, very heavy. We're gonna have to continue it tomorrow because I got half an hour and I gotta go through this Girlicious of it all. I'll talk about NBA Youngboy and the professor tomorrow. Internalized misogynistic views against other women, especially in churches. Yes. And that's another piece of it that we have to talk about too. Okay. Miami, that's a good point. There are also non-Christian women who are also male-centered, and I believe we have spoken about them extensively. Yes, absolutely we have. So it could be Christian, non-Christian. It could be anybody. But yes, that is fundamental. But I mean, we live in a patriarchy too. That's that. But if you're talking about it as it relates to the church, yes, it's heavily like that, 100%. And you have to stay with your husband sometimes, like, and it depends on what church you attend. So like I said, it's very different. Like if you attend a black church, they're going to have a different belief or way of applying the knowledge than a white church. Or like a predominantly white church. If you go to a Caribbean church, they're going to be different than if you went to like a Hispanic church. Hispanic church might believe a little differently than, an African church, depending on which country you're from on the continent. So it's all different. It's all applied differently. And there's a lot of culture that goes into it too. Asian, same thing. So yeah. Okay. A few more comments and then I gotta get to I think we're gonna have to park it and move on to Girlicious after this because I'll do that tomorrow. I'm probably gonna have to watch a replay. I don't know what we're talking about. I don't know what a new ager is. That's okay, sis. You'll catch up tomorrow. You said, Devonda, you said I'm talking about Christian women who want other women to suffer and endure and protect predators in the church and stay silent for obedience. Oh yeah. Oh, we'll talk about that. I'm doing the case study of Jay-Z, and there's an R. Kelly part. And this is a problem, like I said, with a lot of churches, is the coddling of predators. That's a problem too. Not all churches, but a lot of them do. And we got to talk about it. Like I said, I have experience with that. Not me personally, but there was a girl in our youth group who got pregnant by the youth pastor. Now, I do like how the church responded to it, because my dad wasn't for it. But at the same time, there were certain red flags that they missed. And that's a problem too. It's like R. Kelly was being protected by the church in Chicago. He even found a pastor to marry him and Aaliyah. Red flag. That's a problem. So we got to talk about that. Yes, that is a very good point. Jasmine was Thrift Queen. You said Jasmine was combative too, talking about, did you see him get up? Girl, what? Obviously not. I wasn't there 2,000 years ago. Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, they both. I would say during that exchange, it did get kind of heated. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Girlicious now. Let's get to it. I'm gonna read 2 more comments. Don, you said very extremely respectable. Yes, I sure was. I sure was. Last week I actually thought y'all was gonna be on me last week. I was like, yeah, I was a little too much last week. Last week I was a little on that. But this week I'm extremely respectful. I'm like, dang, don't take what I say wrong. The US is basically a theocracy. Yep. Theocracy. 100%. Compared to all the other countries, other Western countries, yes. Valid. Devonda, you said exactly, like the ones who have scriptures in their bio, but their character isn't coming very holy, and people would judge them by their faults they're showing to others. Exactly. People will. They can't wait. Some people are waiting. They're waiting. They're waiting. So that's why you got to be careful. Nicole, hi sis. All right, one more. Like I said, we have a lot of tolerance for religion. So Muslims here go to church and celebrate Christmas, and we observe a month of silence for traditional festivals, and we all eat and eat. Yep. Same with Canada. Yep. Same with Canada. We're very, very respectful. I mean, not all people, some people are just on some other stuff, but for the most part, yes, we observe everyone. Hey, Romy in chat, I'm behind, watching on 2 times speed. Hey, Mary. Hey, sis. Welcome. Girl, you could catch up later. Let's do it now. No, y'all not in trouble. Who's in trouble? Y'all not in trouble. No, we're just having an exchange. All right, let's get to Girlicious for the last half hour, because I got to go after that. We got a vet appointment. So let's get to Girlicious. Somebody sent me a video. Kendall JD. Here we go. Okay, let's watch Kenny JD. Shout out to her. I don't know why this ad is coming up, because I have ad free. Okay, here we go.
The year is
Okay. Let's watch this one, because I feel like this one might be better than the other one. She's always really good. All right, let's get to it fast.
2008. I'm 13 in 8th grade, and my best friend and I have a hyperfixation on a short-lived but girl group. Though he was closeted at the time and the door was glass, one of the things that we always talked about is how much we love a bad bitch. And I think that is one of the things that brought us together. And so it does seem like only him and I hold on to this rather obscure memory of a short-lived spin-off of sorts of the Pussycat Dolls by the name of Girlicious. If you don't remember Girlicious, you are the average person. Honestly, I don't think many people outside of Canada had ever heard of them at all. If you're Canadian and still don't know who they are, that also doesn't surprise me.
Wait, Kenny's from Canada? I didn't know that. Hold up. She's a Canadian? I thought she was American.
Me, because again,
hold on, let me find out.
They weren't huge. They were pretty niche, to the degree that what kind of inspired this video is my friend going back and forth about, like, yeah, there's definitely a whole lot of people. People remember Girlicious, and I had to assure him, no. The average person does not remember Girlicious. Now, if you're too young to remember the music phenomenon Pussycat Dolls, that saddens me, but I'm also 30. And apparently Doja is 20 years old now.
Oh, she is American.
Know who the Pussycat Dolls were, they were a very, very popular girl group collaboration thing. It was a bunch of members, but the only one that sung was Nicole Scherzinger. So I always call Pussycat Dolls Nicole and the Others, or Nicole and them. The Pussycat Dolls were actually created by a creative director / choreographer by the name of Robin Antin. The group was actually a underground burlesque show that would ultimately be signed to a major record label and would become what we know as the Pussycat Dolls. And in the midst of their fame and fortune, we'll get to that. In the midst of their popularity, Robin Antin would take on many projects off of the Pussycat Dolls name. And Girlicious would be her second major attempt at recreating the magic, capturing lightning in a bottle the way that they did with Pussycat Dolls. And Girlicious was her sister group of that. They were originally formed in the second season of a reality show based off of the Pussycat Dolls called The Pussycat Dolls Presents Girlicious. First season was them looking for an extra doll. They ended up picking some girl, I think her name was Alexa or Alex, Asia. It doesn't matter. She performed with them like once and then said no. And that was probably the smartest thing you could have did, bitch. Anyway, and then the second season, they were making a whole new group. Hence the creation of Pussycat Dolls Presents Girlicious. It was a TV show / reality competition / singing dancing competition in which hopeful girls, and I use that word particularly, everyone was very young, came from all over the US to participate in the newest and hottest girl group, which is sad considering again, you've probably never heard of them. But today, I wanted to go into the winding, overlapping, confusing cluster that is the Girlicious group, as well as the world before and after and during that, to kind of understand more about this little niche thing that I felt the need to go into a rabbit hole about, as per usual. Eventually, it'll lead us down the rabbit hole of Robin Antin and her foolishness, as well as PCD, and finish with a good old Where Are They Now, which may be perhaps the most unexpected turn of this story. It's a story of sex, exploitation, drama, drugs, scandal, betrayal, and music, that is.
Okay, we're gonna have to skip the intro a little bit. Let's get to the tea, Kenny. Okay, I love the fact you're wearing a bonnet. Love it for you, sis. Okay.
Television. A lot of these shows still exist today, but are just like shells of their former selves. You had like Survivor, American Idol, Big Brother, America's Next Top Model, Fear Factor, Flavor of Love, RuPaul's Drag Race, etc., etc. And within the wave of reality competition shows, there existed this little show, short-lived, off of CW called PCD Presents. Again, as I mentioned in the introduction, they had a first season where they were looking for an extra doll, but after that concluded, they had the plans to make a brand new, super sexy girl group called Girlicious. Horrible name. Let's just start there. This show would bring hopeful girls from all across the US from ages 18 to 25 to audition to be in the next big girl group. The creator of said group, Robin Antin, would say that originally the group was planned to be 3 members that was very, very sexy, but ultimately would have more of an urban twist on the original Pussycat Dolls concept, which was more burlesque. This would be PCD, but drop them in Atlanta. I have always liked to describe their aesthetic as well as their music, especially from the...
I do not know Girlicious, y'all, so I'm new to all of this. That's why I'm listening to everything.
Slutty Brats, complimentary. Kind of sporty, multiracial, edgy, because, you know...
They remind me of Fifth Harmony.
Said edgy, but with a pop R&B vibe. And again, their
maybe Danity Kane
was very slutty Brats as well. If you've ever listened to Bratz music, unironically, good shit. The Bratz Forever Diamonds album, what was the one that they're appropriating Indian people? Because I don't think a single Bratz was Indian. The song's bust, okay? Can you handle my style?
Yeah, this must be a Gen Z thing. I ain't never seen this in my life.
Can you end my attitude? So speaking of American Idol, the show was very much so American Idol meets Making the Band. There were like a top 15 girls that would be invited into a house where they would all compete against each other in themed challenges from week to week. The themes would be kind of general, like confidence, sexiness, style, and someone would be judged and eliminated, sometimes more than one eliminated, weekly based off of...
All right, you know what, Kenny? We're going to have to park you because I'm going to see if I could find the actual clips of the show. Because of time, I got to get to the juice of it all for now. Hold up. Let's see some episodes. This is Vivo. Lord, I don't want to get copyright strike. Okay. Girlicious TV show. Let me see if I can find some clips. Episode 1. Okay, maybe. Oh, they got the full. Oh yeah. Okay, this is what I like. Thank you, PCD. There we go. Let's do it. Let's watch the show.
Over the charts with
I hope they don't strike me. No, they can't. This is on somebody's channel. Thank you. Yeah, it's too old.
They're an international phenomenon. They're the Pussycat Dolls. And now the visionary that created them is going to do the impossible again. Launch a brand new girl group with a new look, a new sound, and a whole new
fast
I
forward.
took the Pussycat Dolls from a cabaret act in a Hollywood nightclub to one of the most successful pop recording groups in the world. And now I'm taking everything that I've learned and I'm doing it again. I'm putting together an all-new girl group that I'm calling Girlicious. And for 3 lucky girls, this is a chance of a lifetime.
Okay, my purpose is to watch some of this and then get back to the commentary. I probably have to finish the commentary tomorrow to see what happened to them, but I'm trying to get to it. I need to see what happened.
To international superstardom.
They will record an album, make music videos, tour around the world, and be guided by Robin and the A&R staff at Interscope, Geffen, and A&M.
Red flag to Geffen.
Who have shepherded the recording careers of Nelly Furtado, Gwen Stefani, Fergie, Mary J. Blige, Keisha Cole, and the Pussycat Dolls.
Wow.
I launched a nationwide search for the most talented girls in America. Thousands of hopefuls were narrowed down to just a handful, and each girl was put under the microscope for vocals, danceability, and superstar charisma.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get striked for this. Okay.
They know what it takes to be a part of a girl group.
Okay. Fast forward now. Okay, all right. Fast forward. Mark McGrath. All right, let's go, Sugar Ray.
Mark McGrath. We're here at the world-famous Orpheum Theater in Hollywood, where 15 lucky girls will start a journey that could lead to their biggest dreams coming true. But first, they have to get through one more week of auditions.
Ah, Lord, I have a feeling it's gonna be messy.
Robin Anton. Hi, Robin.
She's edgy, she's sassy, she's sexy, like everything. I want to work with Robin. I want to be like that.
You know, I put the Pussycat Dolls together, and I'm so excited to do it again. With 3 talented girls. The idea of Girlicious is it's new, it's fresh, it's young. Girlicious will be a little bit more street, kind of an urban vibe. It's what every girl will aspire to be. And along the way, the Pussycat Dolls will be giving you priceless advice.
It would be really cool to be one of the Pussycat Dolls, but I think Girlicious is going to be just as big, 3 singers making records and dancing. It's going to be amazing.
You 15 girls are the cream of the crop, but the work isn't over yet because at the end of the week, 3 of you will be cut.
All right.
So making this group is going to be like the opportunity of a lifetime. It's like Geffen is going to have 100% support.
Did you make the cut, Tiffany? Oh, 18. She's very young.
Behind the group, give us everything that we need. So I'm just really excited to see where things go, and it's really exciting.
Do you think you're up to the challenge? Yeah! Let's go to the hotel. All right, girls?
My name is Carrie. I'm 25, and I really like to party. I'm originally from Fairfield, Illinois, which is a really small town. I grew up singing in church. All I've ever wanted to do is be a singer. But I am a little bit older. I'm 25. So I really do feel like maybe this is my last shot to be in like a girl group. So actually being here right now and with a chance to win this competition is a huge,
Okay, so this is like my known.
huge dream.
Because she's 25.
My name is Keisha.
Okay. Hey, Keisha.
Do you have a boyfriend?
No, I have a girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when did you realize? When did you come out of the closet? Tell us.
I am a lesbian. And coming out to my mom, I wanted to tell her so bad, but I was nervous. I didn't want her to look at me differently. When I did come out, I didn't even come out. My ex-girlfriend told her. So.
Oh, that's messed up.
But she was very supportive, and she's very supportive of my dream, of my career and what I want to do.
I am Charlie.
My name is Charlie. I'm 19, and I'm from Baytown, Texas.
You're so young.
My father passed away in 2003 of leukemia. I'm a daddy's girl, so I miss him a lot.
I would really like to, do it in memory of him. And then for my mother, it's just because she's been there for me so much. And so I just really want to give her everything that she's ever deserved.
Charlie, you're a Cancer, sis. Hold up. I gotta find that out. She crying already, and it's only been a few minutes. But I get it. She talking about her daddy and them. I get it, sis. Lord. Only a few minutes and you already crying.
From Aurora, Illinois.
What's her name? Designer.
I'm living in Chicago now, and I have a tattoo of cherries on my hoo-ha.
Oh, okay.
Do you really?
Oh, you do?
Let's see it.
That must have been so painful.
I think I'm so much more mature than a lot of these girls. I've lived on over 5 continents. I can relate to everybody. And I've taken voice lessons. I've been classically trained.
She gonna be annoying, y'all. I could already tell. She's an overachiever. Okay, we got the overachiever here. She's gonna be hella annoying.
And music is my life.
So you must have really enjoyed looking at her cherries.
It's time to introduce you to my team.
Oh, okay, Mikey. He done made it.
First, your musical director. He is noted producer and top DJ, day by day. Next, your vocal coach. This guy's worked with everyone from Jennifer Lopez, Mary J. Blige, and the Spice Girls.
If he worked with J-Lo,
And finally, my fabulous co-choreographer, Mikey Menden. All right, so I'm going to split you up into 5 groups of 3. First group, Natalie, Kristen, Charlotte.
Charlotte, I feel like she's my competition here. Like, over all the girls, because she is somewhat Latin. We do have, like, the long...
She's gonna be annoying too, Lord. Why are you worried about that, Natalie?
Brown, curly hair, and complexion. I can learn what it is that she can do and do it better.
Next group, Christina, Cassandra, Nicole. Next, Jamie, Jenna, and Charlie. Next, Carrie, Keisha, Elisa.
I'm 19 years old and I'm from West Palm Beach, Florida.
Oh,
I have a very serious heart condition. I'm the youngest person in the world who had it and survived it. I'm a very strong person now. I've realized that I'm here for a reason. And I know it's to entertain and to inspire, which has always been my goal.
And obviously, we have Alexis, Tiffany, and Megan. All right, so now you've got your groups. And what I want you to do is I want you to come up with your own look and your own vibe.
Okay.
Even though you're performing in a group, you're being judged individually. I'm sending 3 of you home. Any girl from any group can go. But remember, 1 weak girl can make the whole group look bad. So the girls that you're standing next to can either make you or break you. All right, so now for your song choice. Each track this week comes from a famous girl group. The 5 songs are on the board, and it's first come, first serve. So go get them, girls!
They better not choose In Vogue. They better not choose In Vogue. Y'all better choose Pussycat Dolls.
Are your songs?
No!
Go up to your room, and we'll meet you back down
Don't
here
choose
later.
In Vogue.
All right?
Oh, Lord.
Jenna, right?
Yeah, I'm Jenna.
Jamie?
I'm Charlie.
Charlie, like Charlie's Angel.
Where are you from? I am from San Diego originally.
Nice.
I just moved up here about a year ago because of my singing stuff, so. I'm 18. It's definitely hard being one of the bigger girls here. My mom and stepdad are personal trainers and they were always on me about my weight. My mom was always doing fitness competitions, so naturally I feel like I always had to live up to an image of her and always feel like I wasn't
I think, okay, we'll tackle that tomorrow, y'all.
good enough. Still to this day, it's a struggle.
Think about it. Like, out of all the girls that tried out for this, we are like the top 15.
In the nation, that's so good.
I'm Natalie.
Charlotte, Kristen.
Where are you from?
I was born in Washington, D.C., but we move around a lot in to different countries because my dad's a diplomat, so I never spent more than a couple years in one continent. I speak Portuguese and French. Like, I study in Berkeley College of Music, and I got a scholarship. When I first met Charlotte, she was really a cocky, conceited, like, oh yeah, you know, I'm everything in the world. I don't know.
Natalie's a hating ass person. I gotta figure out her star sign. She hating a little too much. Let me go. I'm gonna
Like,
figure
I
this
play a lot
out.
of instruments and stuff.
We'll figure that
How
out
many instruments
tomorrow.
you play? Like 3. Yeah. That's cool.
Jealous spirit. Okay. Okay.
You never was this nice, you can't believe.
All right, they doing good. Sorry, y'all. We not getting copyright striked. Okay, what's this group got going on?
And sing and mouth.
All the kids just getting out of school. They can't wait.
Red flag. No. Out. Cut. Get out of here. Look, I mean, I know you're young. You have a special voice. I'm sure it can be used, but not for this.
Hang out and be cool.
When you're doing this thing, it's looking like you're burping. Don't lift up like that. Pop it. But you're going, don't go like up. Can you guys work on that with her?
Does he have a bandana?
5, 6, 7, go.
Blah, blah, blah.
Fist on the dig, Charlotte. Not like a mahalo. Strong.
My hips are wrong.
Natalie doesn't know where she want to go. Natalie, you need to move to the censuses.
I'm very on the fence if Charlotte will be able to pull off this performance.
You definitely look great, but you just got to remember that comes right there. After that, pump, and then right away, out. Yeah?
Fist.
Charlotte not gonna make it.
Strong.
Charlotte's not gonna make it. Charlotte says you're not gonna make it, but I love her tenacity. She's trying. She's trying.
Exactly.
Mikey was being kind of hard to me in comparison to the other 2 girls. I learned the choreography, but it just takes me a little bit longer, and it makes me frustrated because I don't
Yo, if you were from the millennials, I had this exact shit. We all used to wear this stuff. Oh my god, it's taking me back.
I grew to get
had that
left
shirt
behind because of me.
I got it at Wet Seal.
No,
Or Charlotte Russe. I don't remember which one.
to get today quicker, but some people are slower learners than others.
Shut up, Natalie. I'm tired of you. You're getting on my damn nerves.
Is totally getting messed up. Yeah, you got.
Is he representing a set, Mikey? Do you belong to a gang that we need to know of? Because why you have your flag waving like this? Like seriously, like is it that serious? Like what is this? I don't get it. Is he from California? Maybe that's why he had to rep something.
Gotta stay up, and if she can't work it out, you guys have to adjust for her.
Well, I'm worried that Charlotte may bring our group down. She's not keeping up with the dancing.
Natalie, I haven't seen you do anything yet. Shut up! I'm tired of her already.
Getting to be a problem because I feel like she's wasting our time.
Yeah, you guys watch her because she's in some other world. Okay.
Oh, that's it? Oh no, no. That's a
Walking
long
with bent
okay,
knees, and she just looks like a non-dancer.
Wait. Oh my, yo, we were ruthless. Y'all, I gotta show y'all Showtime. Listen, this not me, it's them. I gotta show y'all Showtime at the Apollo clip when this shorty got booed. Yo, they booed a kid. They booed Lauryn Hill. They booed so many kids. I was like, oh my God, we were so ruthless at that time.
8-1. No, you're never gonna get it. Never ever gonna get it. So Carrie, you just gotta own your walk a little bit more.
Watch Keisha, the way she does all this, because it's just the attitude is just so right.
Carrie was a disappointment. First of all, her look.
She gonna be jealous because now the black girl done shouting. We gonna have jealousy here. Look, she's like, the black girl. Look at that look. Her?
Carrie was a disappointment. First of all, her look is so tragic. I just can't even begin to talk about it. But it's hard to even look at her because she just looks awkward. She's walking with bent knees, and she just looks like a non-dancer. Carrie, honey. Yeah. It's the easiest thing. You're standing right next to her. Just watch her in the mirror. Okay, well, excuses.
I was pretty upset. Sometimes Mikey was kind of rude to you. You know, it makes you feel
Yeah,
bad.
he was
and,
rude.
you know, for saying I'm making excuses or something like that. When my excuse is I've never danced before.
Don't make excuses. None of that.
You've never danced before. Then why are you auditioning? You getting cut too. Bye. Goodbye. Cut. Her and what's the other sis? Both of y'all roll pack. I already got the top 2. Where the third one at? I need number 3.
Baby, don't leave me.
She gonna be number 3. I'm so sorry. Was this the cancer one I said that's like crying? I love your story, but you about to be packed right up out of it. Okay, I got my top 3 right there. We don't need to
We go through it like slow. Okay, yeah, but I need to like, yeah.
Boom, 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 step. Boom. Where did our love go?
She's not even big. Oh no, she about to get packed up. Okay, let me stop interrupting. What is going on here? What?
I was having cramps all day, and I was feeling really wheezy. I just didn't want to complain or say anything because I don't want anybody to think that I can't handle the competition, because that's not the case at all.
She walked out. I'm trying to make this group. Can we learn these dance moves? Like, come on, let's get it together. If I go home,
Okay, Charlie sis, I'm sorry. Nah, you're not getting packed up. Other sis getting, but she has a reason. She got cramps, y'all. She got a reason.
So after rehearsing, Robin pulls us into the dance studio for this big announcement. After you've been through a lot these last couple of days, I thought that it might be fun to take you out tonight to Interscope Records exclusive Tom Tom Club.
Okay, guys, I gotta skip through this a little bit because I gotta leave, y'all. I got to go in like 5 minutes. I need to see what the result was. Okay, let's see. Who went to the hospital? Who went to the Oh, wait, this is crazy. Hold up. Wait, we might have to revisit this part. Hold up. 50 Cent. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this part.
So I happened to pick Fly by Sugar Ray. And I was the first one that picked Mark McGrath's song. So I had to get up there and sing it and impress him. And I was really nervous about it.
Okay, her voice is not that bad. Okay, we can't listen. Okay, I just want to fly. Okay. Who is this
They made
one?
me sing Nelly Furtado's song in front of Nelly Furtado.
Get packed
and
up.
I was like,
no. Well, she's not bad. Okay, she's not bad. She's not bad. She just the song is not matching.
My favorite part was the end. Great improv at the end there. That's good. Not everybody can.
Yeah, the only part that was good was the end, Nelly. Stop being friendly. Nelly's from the city I live in right now, from Victoria. Shout out to Nelly. Continue. Oh, she's still sick. Okay, here we go.
Feeling bad all day. I just haven't said anything to anybody. I'm just trying to hold it in because I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me or anything. But
why is she smiling?
I'm in a lot of pain.
She's not. No, she's so unserious. The producer.
My stomach. It was just really hurting. I couldn't stand up, and I finally told somebody when I got back to my room.
Oh no.
911, what's your emergency? Hi, I have an 18-year-old female who's having severe abdominal pain. I need to have someone sent over as soon as possible.
She pregnant? She might be pregnant, or maybe she just has really bad cramps. Food poisoning, maybe?
The doctor said I had a ruptured cyst.
Oh, okay,
it hurt
yeah.
really bad.
Oh, yeah, that can really hurt you bad. Okay, she has a really serious, debilitating thing. Ruptured cyst is really serious.
I don't want it to affect the competition at all.
I've worked so hard. I've worked so hard for this. My whole life. And I know that I can do this more than anybody.
Okay.
I took it easy today.
can you dance in your wheelchair?
Yeah, I'll work in a wheelchair.
I'm actually really worried about eliminations. But I'm just scared, like, what if Jenna doesn't get the dance steps right because she's in a wheelchair, and she just brings our whole group down.
Jenna, you better work your voice right now. Better work it. You're completely off.
She's in a wheelchair. Yo, they're ruthless. She's in a wheelchair. No, red flag. No, y'all wrong for that. She had a ruptured cyst. Like, Why are they talking
my
about her
ass
like
going home
that?
because of somebody else. So
Jamie, shut up. I knew you had to be from Miami. You getting on my nerves too. She just had a ruptured cyst. I don't care about that. All right, I'm
a little bit worried.
I don't like
trying
this
to listen
group.
to the doctor as much as I can. It's hard though. I'm in a competition, and there's no time to waste.
Yeah, you see, you was talking mad cash shit, and then you can't even. You're not the hottest thing, Natalie. See, this is what I was talking about. If you know you're not, why you acting like you are? Red flag. That's what I was talking about earlier. Sometimes it's good to be human. You know, you just gotta be quiet a little bit. You could only talk your ish if you really that girl. You not. You're not at all. You see, it's always the ones barking. Yes,
Charlotte,
thank you, Mikey.
You gotta touch her at the beginning.
Well, the reason why I switched is because I was.
All I'm hearing is excuses. Just hang on her, okay?
Never mind.
What's going on in this group? Are you guys getting along?
We had an argument.
Argument?
She has like 10 boots, so I'm like, can I borrow one? She's like, no, we're in competition.
Oh, that's the boots one.
I just feel like my personal style is for me. I don't feel like nobody said, hey, Natalie's pack boots for Charlotte. You know what I mean? They said pack boots for Natalie.
Tomorrow is so important for you girls. You've got to have your group together. It's got to be like a cohesive unit. It's got to work together. So work it out for yourself. Get everything just done to the best that you possibly can.
Yo, where is she? She cosplaying too. I'm tired of the cosplay. Robin, sis, you got the bamboo earrings. You got the do-rag. She with a brother. Like, what is going on here? We got Mikey representing his set. I think this is where it started because people trying to say, oh, Gen Z trying to take over AAVE lingo. No, it's been like this. They've been cosplaying. It just wasn't on TV like that. Like, it was only on national TV, not on the internet. What is going on here?
I'm frustrated, and I'm...
Kristen, girl.
I wasn't gonna do this.
Okay, bye, Kristen. I gotta go. Okay, I really gotta go. Okay, fast forward. Okay, all right. I need to see the performance. This is the final performance. Y'all better not make fun of our style, Gen Z. I know we was looking a little, yeah, I know. A little dated
I have
here.
insecurity about my voice. And I know I can sing, it just doesn't come through. Like, I want to show everyone what I have.
Keisha,
and
you
for
better
some reason,
sing.
It doesn't come out that
Your
way.
name is Keisha. You better sing,
And
Keisha.
it's hard. But, you know, in the end, it's just gonna make me a stronger woman.
You will be. She's giving Pisces.
Come on, y'all. We need to practice. Okay. I got out of the wheelchair
Because I need to learn the last part so I don't mess up on it tomorrow.
You came into my heart, baby, baby, so tenderly.
Sorry, I was off.
Jenna got sick last night. It really sucks for her because tomorrow is the performance.
Okay,
and
we
so
skipping to the performance because I gotta go to the vet. Is this the performance? Okay, here we go, y'all. Okay. Oh! Yo, Little Kim's face was ideal here. What
Everybody
happened?
loves Lil' Kim.
She should have stayed with this face. This face. Wow.
Tonight,
I'm only gonna be like
15 of you are
10
competing to
minutes,
see
and I'm done.
which 12 girls will move on and into the loft to continue your journey towards the grand prize of making it into the group Girlicious and recording contracts.
Okay, Mark, we
with
don't need to hear
the
that. I need to see the performance. Okay, let's go.
We're going home.
Sometimes I feel I've got to
Run away.
I've got to get away from the pain you drop into the heart of me. We share seems to go nowhere, and I lost my life for I toss and turn. I can't sleep at night. Once I ran to you, now I run from you. This ain't love you've given. I give you all a girl could give you, and take my tears, and that's not really all.
Okay, the vocals was hitting here. They was hitting a little bit.
Delicious.
The outfits are bad. The outfits are not hitting though.
should definitely have a present.
I'm nervous. Really nervous. Like, I want it so bad. that there is no room to mess up.
We're never gonna get it. Ow! Never ever gonna get it. No, not this time. We're never gonna get it. My love. Never ever gonna get it. Ooh, but I remember how we used to be.
You see, she's crying, worried about her voice, and she sounds amazing. And then Natalie talking mad cash-ish and sounds atrocious. Red flag. What is going on here? You sound good.
What's that night you cared for me? Now you're talking like you made a change. The more you talk, the more things sound the same. What makes you think you can just fall back into her life?
She's good.
So you're just wasting your time. Oh, no, you're never gonna get it. No, not this time. Never ever gonna get it. No, you're never gonna get it. You had a chance to.
I'm sorry, she cannot sing. Why are they nodding their heads? Keisha and Carrie were better. She's alright, but nah. The ears weren't working.
Yesterday with my teammates, they were a little frustrated, but last night, you know, I practiced my ass off, you know, as hard as I can because I missed a whole day of rehearsals. So I had to make it.
Okay. I think they're only looking at aesthetic because why they smiling when that group came out? Excuse me.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I got 5 minutes, y'all. 5 minutes. Okay, Robin, we don't care.
We're
Next.
Static, we're ready to roll.
What is this one?
It's the time and it's the place.
Oh, well.
Alright, you out of there. You can take someone but you. Satisfied is great. 'Cause one time, let the wine of love flow free. One time, come on, give yourself to me.
This song is very hard. I think they got the short end of the stick. It's not an easy song. They have to perform and dances. This song is all over the place too. It's one of those, yeah, they tried, y'all. They tried. I gotta give them that. It's not an easy song. Yeah, it's not an easy song. They didn't get a good song. All right. Oh, there's more?
I care about my performance, so I'm gonna try to make it.
Oh, she gonna mess up.
I'm
Charlotte.
here to make sure Charlotte gets to the next level. To be perfectly honest, like I don't want her to make it to the next level. We have a similar look, and if it has to be one of us, it's gonna be me.
See the people walking down the street, falling line just watching over feet. They don't know where they wanna go. They're walking in time. They got the beat, they got the beat, they got the beat. Yeah, they got the beat. All the kids just getting out of school. They can't wait to hang out and be cool. Hang around the quarter after 12 and that's when they fall in line. They got the beat, they got the beat, they got the beat. Yeah, they got the beat. Go-go music really makes you dance. Do the pony, put us in a trance. 'Cause I want to see just give us a chance. That's the way they fall in line.
This song is not a good song choice, y'all. All right, I hate to leave y'all on a cliffhanger, but your girls got to go to the vet. Let me just let them finish us out today. I wanted to play a palate cleanse. I only got time for that. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to close out with them. I will read your comments and answer accordingly tomorrow. I'll keep the comments here. I'm going to screen capture them. But Lord, what is going on here? Thank you to whoever recommended Girlicious. This is like chef's kiss. I might do more reality shows if it's back in the day so I don't get copyright strike. I love this kind of thing because sometimes, you know, you just want to watch something cool. This is awful. What is going on here? Who chose those outfits? It probably came from Natalie's closet. You don't got it. I'm so sorry. Nah. You ain't got no beat. You skipped the beat.
Robin, Ron, Kim, you guys have a tough decision ahead of you.
Yeah, all right, y'all. We gonna roll out of here. Love y'all the long way. I got to head out, but look for tomorrow's live stream. I will show up bright and early tomorrow. Finish the Christians versus one. Oh Lord, it's a lot. That one's long. How long is that one? And we'll just finish today's topics. I think we'll just keep it at that and add the professor that passed away. Anywho, you said the white girl chose the outfit. Bro, that's crazy. All right, y'all. We'll catch up tomorrow. Love y'all and see you tomorrow. Yeah, we gotta